Chapter 23. Chu Bai leaned against the balcony, enjoying the evening breeze as he looked at the two beautiful women walking by hand. Water Luster High School had 3 well-known school beauties, and all of them were in their 3rd year. One of them was Su Muyen, and the other 2 were the 2 girls walking by. If only they could be my girlfriends together. Chu Bai began to fantasize. Just then, he felt a huge force coming from behind his waist. Someone had launched a sneak attack and kicked Chu Bai. Chu Bai almost threw up his dinner. He turned around angrily and saw that the person who had sneakily attacked him was Chen Zisher. "Are you King crazy?" Chu Bai resisted the urge to fight back and roared. If he hadn't just been punished again, he would have pressed Chen Zisher to the ground. Chu Bai had been in countless fights since he was young, and he hated people who didn't have any morals and sneakily attacked him from behind. "You bastard!" Chen Zisher was in a deranged state. "I'm innocent. You'd rather believe a woman than my brother, wouldn't you?" Chu Bai guessed that Wen Jing must have told Chen Zisher what had happened. Otherwise, Chen Zisher wouldn't have lost control like this. "I believe you're King ass." Chen Zisher cursed. "CK, you're a King retard. You don't even know that you've been tricked. I don't have a brother like you anymore. We're done." Chu Bai was furious. "You're worse than an animal. So be it." Ding. Host manipulated behind the scenes and successfully turned the main character Chu Bai and the important supporting character Chen Zisher against each other. Received 300 villain points. Chu Bai's protagonist aura -20. Host's villain aura +20. Perfect. Wang Haoren nodded in satisfaction after receiving the system notification. His plan was a perfect success, just as he had expected. After the evening self-study session, the students and the teachers prepared to go home. In order to avoid arousing suspicion, Song Zhenyu stayed in the office for a while longer, just like yesterday. Wang Haoren took the opportunity to send Wen Jing home. In the car. "Dear, I've completed all the tasks you've given me. Are you satisfied?" Wen Jing asked with a sweet smile. "You did very well." Wang Haoren praised her and looked at Wen Jing's slightly red eyes. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine now." Wen Jing shook her head indifferently. As long as she could complete the task Wang Haoren gave her, this bit of suffering was nothing to her. Wang Haoren took out his mobile phone and transferred 188,000 yuan to Wen Jing as a reward. Wen Jing was dumbfounded. Her family's annual income was only 50 to 60,000 yuan, and her monthly allowance was only 200 to 300 yuan. 188,000 was definitely a huge sum for Wen Jing. She could be with the man she loved deeply and have so much money to spend. Wen Jing felt more and more that her decision to follow Wang Haoren was too wise. "I'll send you back." Wang Haoren was about to ask the driver to start the car. However, Wen Jing suddenly held Wang Haoren's hand and said affectionately, "Don't worry. Dear, I miss you so much. Have you recovered?" "No." "Then I'll send you back. You cried for so long today. Aren't you tired?" "I'm fine," Wen Jing said with her head down. "Then I'll send you to the hotel first. I have something to do. I'll come find you later." Wang Haoren suddenly felt that his cheap father had some foresight to give him a black gold VIP card. He didn't even need to book a room in advance. He could just go there directly. "Yes, yes." Wen Jing nodded excitedly and quickly took out her mobile phone to call her family. Su Muyen returned home and took a shower to sweep away the tiredness of the day. When she passed by the living room, her father was still watching TV. "Dad, I'm going back to my room to sleep," Su Muyen said. Yen, wait. Dad has something to tell you." Father Su waved his hand. "What do you want to tell me?" Su Muyen was a little curious. "There's a person in your class called Chu Bai, right?" "Yes." "Dad, how did you know?" "I've seen him in the police station." "What crime did he commit?" "No." Father Su shook his head, a look of appreciation on his face. "A student in your school reported a group of criminals. You should know about this. I'm the one who handled the case. The student who reported it was Chu Bai. Oh, it's him. Su Mu Yan's expression was calm. Yan, why do you look like you don't like this Chu Bai? He wanted to molest my good friend. I can't wait to beat him up. Is that so? Tell me the details of the situation, Father Su said. Su Mu Yan told her father the information she got from Wenjing. Your good friend only heard voices and touched the other person's hair. That doesn't prove that the person is Chu Bai. Father Su's occupational disease kicked in. But he admitted it. According to your description, all the evidence points to Chu Bai. That girl chose to calm the matter down and make Chu Bai apologize. Chu Bai made this choice to avoid trouble. It's normal. Dad, why do you seem to be so protective of this Chu Bai? Su Mu Yan didn't understand. Although I've only seen this Chu Bai once, I'm sure he's not that kind of person. There must be some misunderstanding, Father Su said. Could it be that Jingjing made a mistake? This idea suddenly pops up in Su Mayan's mind. Because of the nature of his job, her father dealt with all kinds of criminals every day. He was very good at judging people. Su Mu Yan naturally believed her father's judgment. At the same time, Su Mu Yan also believed that her good friend didn't have to lie. But since the matter had come to an end, there was no need to worry about it. Su Mu Yan shook off her complicated thoughts and suddenly asked, Dad, why did you suddenly mention this Chu Bai? Look at me, I almost forgot. Papa Su slapped his forehead and pointed at the phone on the coffee table. Chu Bai called you just now. You just went to take a shower. Dad picked it up. I told him that when you came back later, you should call him. Su Mu Yan was very reluctant. Don't tell me you want Dad to break his promise. Father Su spread his hands. Su Mu Yan had no choice but to call back and put it on speaker. Chu Bai picked up immediately. Is this Uncle or Su Mu Yan? It's Yan. Father Su helped his daughter answer. Su Mayan couldn't help but roll her eyes at her father, and then she faintly said, What do you want? Su Mu Yan, I really didn't do anything to Wenjing. I've been wronged. Chu Bai hurriedly explained. Since Wenjing had told Chen Zisher about it, then as Wenjing's best friend, Su Mu Yan, would definitely know about it as well. Chu Bai wasn't afraid of falling out with Chen Zisher, but he was afraid of being hated by Su Mu Yan. Therefore, after the evening self-study session, Chu Bai estimated that Su Mu Yan would be able to use her phone when she got home. He immediately called Su Mu Yan to tell Su Mu Yan the truth. His tone is firm and there's no hesitation in his speech. He should be telling the truth. Father Su's occupational disease kicked in again and he couldn't help but comment. He also said to his daughter, Yan, it seems that Chu Bai is really innocent. Thank you, Uncle Su. Su Mu Yan, you also believe that I'm innocent, right? Chu Bai said excitedly over the phone. That's not important anymore. You should focus on the joint exam in a few days. Su Mu Yan didn't want to get tangled up in this matter. I'm not worried about the joint exam. I've been studying hard recently. I'll at least get into the top 10 in class. Chu Bai was bursting with confidence. T. Su Mu Yan curled her lips. The top 10 in class were all top students. They all had a high chance of getting into the first or second tier of the university. Chu Bai used to be at the bottom of the class. In the last monthly exam, he only scored below average. He was still considered a poor student. It was impossible for him to suddenly get into the top 10. I'm not ting. If you don't believe me, let's make a bet. If I get into the top 10 in class, you'll be my girlfriend. If I lose, you can do whatever you want with me. Do you dare to bet? Chu Bai said. Chapter 24. Su Mu Yan couldn't stand Chu Bai's bragging, and wanted to retort. But she didn't want to agree to Chu Bai's bet. After all, the stakes were too high. Don't I? Do you dare? Chu Bai pressed. I do. Our Yan agrees. Papa Su said out of the blue. It's getting late. Yen Yen needs to rest. Young man, you have to work hard. Okay. Bye-bye, Uncle Su. Bye-bye, Su Muyen. The call ended. Dad, what are you doing? Why did you agree for me? Su Muyen was depressed. I saw that you didn't answer for a long time, so I answered for you, Papa Su said. If I lose, I'll be his girlfriend. Are you really my father? Su Muyen complained. Then do you think you'll lose? Papa Su asked. Su Muyen thought about it seriously and then said with certainty, I won't. It wasn't hard to climb from the bottom to the bottom of the class in a short time as long as one worked hard. But to climb from the bottom of the class to the top 10, that was impossible. As a straight-A student, Su Muyen had too much right to say on this point. Then it's fine. Papa Su smiled. He had done that just now because he suddenly remembered that he had done something similar when he was pursuing Su Muyen's mother. Chu Bai had the shadow of Papa Su in his youth. Papa Su also admired Chu Bai, and thought that Chu Bai was a good person. So, he agreed on Su Muyen's behalf. In any case, his daughter had already said that Chu Bai had no chance of winning. If a miracle happened, Chu Bai would be in the top 10 of the class. That would prove that Chu Bai truly loved his daughter. In order to pursue his daughter, he went from the bottom of the class to the top. He must have put in a lot of effort. How could such a man be qualified to be his daughter's boyfriend? Papa Su was very open-minded when it came to his daughter's love life. You can continue watching TV. I'm going to sleep. Humph. Su Muyen was still a little depressed. She made a face at her father and went back to her room. After returning to her room, Su Muyen tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep. She took out her phone and found Wenjing's number in her contact list. She planned to vent her anger on Wenjing. After Su Muyen dialed the number, Wenjing waited for the phone to ring for a while before she picked it up. Jing, did I disturb your rest? Su Muyen asked first. I haven't slept yet. Why are you calling me so late at night? What's the matter? Wenjing's voice was a little choppy. Why do you sound so weird? What are you doing? I'm eating spicy strips. Wow, it's too spicy. Haha, eating spicy strips in the middle of the night. You're really something. I didn't eat enough for dinner. When I get home, I'm hungry again. All I have left is spicy strip. Jing, let me tell you. Something just happened that made me speechless. Do you know how weird my dad is? He actually... Su Muyen and Wenjing chatted for a while before she started complaining. Chu Bai and Su Muyen made a bet. If he can get into the top 10 in the entrance exam, Su Muyen will be his girlfriend? Wang Haoren, who was sitting beside Wenjing, heard Su Muyen's ridicule and shuddered. The entrance exam was around the corner. The last place main character made a bet with the beautiful top student, then shocked everyone with his result. He tricked the beautiful top student and got a girlfriend for free. Wang Haoren was too familiar with this cliché routine. Although Chu Bai was a poor student now, with his X-ray vision ability, he could copy students with good grades in the exam room. His grades would definitely not be bad. Chu Bai's results would be in the top 10 of the class. This was basically a done deal. Su Muyen would definitely lose. Wang Haoren was very glad that he did not let Wenjing go back today. He accidentally got this important information from Wenjing. There were still a few days before the entrance exam. He had enough time to prepare and stop Chu Bai's plan. Chu Bai relied on his X-ray vision to cheat. If he could not cheat, then how could he get into the top 10 with his results? After a while, Wenjing ended the call with Su Muyen. After Wang Haoren finished his work, he opened the panel and looked at it. Villain points. 1400. He had just exchanged for Wing Chun last night and now, he had so many villain points tonight. The villainous point came really quickly. Should he exchange for acting skills or face-preserving pills? Or lottery? Wang Haoren thought about it and chose to draw a lottery. He was still very young, so there was no rush for face-preserving pills. and acting skills were not a necessity for the time being. Let's try my luck. After spending 500 villain points, the lottery results came out. Unfortunately, the host did not draw any rewards. Do you want to continue to spend 500 villain points to draw rewards? Draw again. Wang Hauren was a bit annoyed, so he gave the order again. Ding, congratulations to the host's luck. You have drawn a god of singing skill worth 1500 villain points. Do you want to use it now? Fortunately, he did not lose out. Wang Hauren let out a sigh of relief and replied to the system, use it now. Wang Hauren was very satisfied with this god of singing skill. He had a handsome appearance and with this skill, if he wanted to enter the entertainment industry as a star, he could definitely become a top star. But what Wang Hauren valued the most was not whether he could become a star or not. But what he valued was that this skill was very helpful in flirting with the female lead. Boys who sang well were very attractive to girls. God of singing skill, coupled with the image of a straight-A student and tall, rich, and handsome. How many girls could resist it? Wang Hauren could not wait to show off his singing in front of Song Zhenyu and Su Muyan. Should I call them and sing? And then sing for them? Wang Hauren suddenly had this idea. But it was quickly extinguished. It was too late now. If he called them at this time, it might be considered harassment. He could only wait for an opportunity to show it. The next day, Chu Bai woke up at the first glimmer of dawn. He became the first student to arrive at the classroom. There was still some time before the morning class. Chu Bai sat in his seat and buried his head in studying. Chu Bai wanted to make a name for himself in the joint entrance examination. Before that, he had to lay the groundwork and put on a show of studying hard. It was time for the morning class to read aloud. Some students in the class were reading English, while others were preparing ancient poetry. The sound of reading was loud. Chu Bai held the language textbook and tried his best to read the ancient poetry aloud. His voice was very loud. It was especially abrupt in the midst of the reading. Gradually, some of the students near Chu Bai could not take it anymore. Chu Bai, can you lower your voice? I'm going deaf. That's right. You're so loud. Those who know will think you're reading. Those who don't know will think you have rabies. You can read aloud, but can you lower your voice? You're affecting others. My ears. The surrounding students kept criticizing Chu Bai. I like to read so loudly. It's none of your business. Chu Bai retorted. Your grades are bad. Your problem is not small. That's right. Poor students love to be pretentious. Don't look down on others. The joint entrance examination is coming. You'll know who's the poor student then. A bunch of trash. Just wait to be slapped in the face by my report card. Chu Bai retorted again. Among the people who criticized him, none of them had particularly good grades. Chu Bai did not care about them at all. Chu Bai had already made up his mind. When his joint entrance examination results were out, he would use his dazzling report card to slap their faces. Chapter 25. Lunch break. Su Muyan finished her homework and planned to relax for a while to adjust her state for the afternoon class. Wen Jing, who was beside her, also had nothing to do at this time, so she joked. Yen, look at that Chu Bai, he seems to have changed into a different person. He's so enthusiastic in his studies. It seems like he's going to work hard. Are you scared? Don't tease me. I feel depressed just thinking about it. Su Muyan rolled her eyes. Haha, your dad is also a talent. How can he cheat his own daughter like that? Wen Wan said happily. That's right. Su Muyan deeply agrees. But it doesn't matter. Even if Chu Bai really wins, you can deny it. Can he force you? I definitely plan to deny it. Although people should be trustworthy, Su Muyan would definitely not joke about her own happiness. Moreover, she had already made up her mind that she would definitely not date before the college entrance examination. Then what are you worried about? Wen Jing asked. This Chu Bai is a bit egotistical. He doesn't care about other people's opinions at all. If he really wins and I don't admit it, he will definitely pester me. Who knows, he might even let the other students in the class know about it. Wouldn't I be embarrassed to death then? Su Mu-yen complained with her beautiful face in her hands. That's true. Wen Jing nodded. At this time, Wang Haoren came back from outside the classroom and coincidentally appeared beside the two of them. What are you guys talking about? Wang Haoren asked casually. Nothing, nothing. Su Mu-yen shook her head like a rattledrum. There must be something. Tell me. Wang Haoren had already vaguely guessed it. Yan Yan and Chu Bai made a bet. If Yan Yan loses, she will be his girlfriend. Wang Haoren asked, so Wen Jing naturally answered. Jing, you. It's enough that only the two of us know about this. Why don't you tell other people? Su Mu-yen said angrily. I'm sorry, Yan Yan. Wen Jing apologized, but she muttered in her heart. I didn't say that out loud. You were the one who complained on the phone last night, and Wang Haoren heard it. You can't blame me for that. However, this was a secret. Wen Jing certainly wouldn't say it out loud. Forget it. Su Mu-yen didn't blame Wen Jing, but she still reminded Wang Haoren. You have to keep this a secret. Don't tell anyone else. I'm not a talkative person. Don't worry, Wang Haoren replied. It's okay. That Chu Bai is just cramming at the last minute. Don't worry. How could a poor student suddenly become a top student? Wen Jing comforted Su Mu-yen. That's right. Su Mu-yen nodded heavily and became determined. It's impossible for him to do it in a normal exam. What if he cheated? Wang Haoren suddenly said. This can't be right? Su Mu-yen's heart, which had just calmed down, instantly became anxious again. I'm guessing that this must be premeditated by Chu Bai. He deliberately set a trap for you. He had already thought of cheating to improve his grades. Wang Haoren guided Su Mu-yen's train of thought. Think about it. When he made the bet with you, didn't he seem very confident? Yes. When he said that, he was very confident. Su Mu-yen became more and more frightened as she thought about it. That's right. Even those who are good in their studies can't guarantee that they'll be in the top few in the class. He's just a poor student. How can he be so confident? Wang Haoren asked. Yes, I should have thought of it at that time. After hearing that, Su Mu-yen was completely convinced that Chu Bai was going to cheat. However, she still felt that she was lucky. Cheating isn't that simple, right? Even if you brought along a cheat sheet, it can't improve your grades that much. Do you think that cheating is just bringing along a cheat sheet? Can't it be buying the exam answers and bribing the invigilator? Wang Haoren said. Can it be done like that? Su Mu-yen's face was full of surprise. As a top student, she had never considered cheating. How could she know so many tricks? Wang Haoren looked at Su Mu-yen's worried face and felt that it was about time. He suddenly said, Actually, this is just my guess. Maybe others don't think that way. I have something else to talk about. After saying that, Wang Haoren turned around and left. Wait! Su Mu-yen panicked and quickly grabbed Wang Haoren's hand. Wang Haoren stopped and stared at her. Su Mu-yen's face turned red. She immediately let go of his hand and said softly, Can you help me? This. Wang Haoren pretended to hesitate. I beg you, okay? Su Mu-yen acted coquettishly for the first time. Then I'll try. Wang Haoren reluctantly agreed. Thank you, I'll treat you to milk tea. Su Mu-yen stared at Wang Haoren and revealed a sweet smile. Ding, the female leads Su Mu-yen's favorability towards the host plus 10. Current favorability is 40. Very close, ding, affected the direction of the plot. Obtained 200 villain points. I really gained favorability? Wang Haoren was secretly happy when he received the system's notification. Stopping Chu Bai from cheating was something that he had to do. Helping Su Mu-yen was actually just on the way. He didn't expect to actually gain Su Mu-yen's favorability. This was really a pleasant surprise. A few days passed quickly. All the third-year students were randomly assigned to their exam rooms and seat. On Friday afternoon, the students all received their exam room number and admission ticket to familiarize themselves with the exam rooms. These exam rooms were originally for the juniors, but they were now used as temporary exam rooms. At the entrance of each exam room, the exam time of each subject and the name of the invigilator of each subject were posted. The third-year students came to their exam rooms in an orderly manner and found their seats with their name and student number. The invigilator handed out an English test paper. Soon, the classroom broadcast an English listening test. Chu-bai's seat was the last seat in the last exam room. This seat was simply a place with good feng shui for Chu-bai. After using his X-ray vision, his vision passed through the walls and he could see the answers on the English test papers of about 150 students. Of course, this was just an English test. Chu-bai wouldn't copy other people's answers. What he needed to do now was to determine the approximate location of the students with good grades. This was not difficult for Chu-bai at all. The top students of each class were often praised at the conference. Those faces were all too familiar. Just the top 10 third-year students in the school, Chu-bai found 3 of them. One of them was even in the top 3 of the school. Don't underestimate the top 10 students. Waterluster High School's ranking was very high. From past history, the top 10 students in the school were almost all students who could enter the top universities in the country. In the class, Su Muyen and Wang Haoren just barely made it into the top 10. As long as he could copy these 3, Chu-bai was sure that he would definitely make it into the top 10. Su Muyen was waiting to be his girlfriend. Haha, Chu-bai was very excited. He couldn't wait to fast forward to the day when the exam results were released. That student, why aren't you listening to the exam? Why are you looking around and laughing like a fool? Chu-bai's abnormality was noticed by the invigilator. Chapter 26. The one who reprimanded Chu-bai was a male invigilator who also taught Year 3 PE. Although there were only a few physical education classes in the third year of high school, however, Chu-bai knew this PE teacher's name. His name was Xian Liangkai. Mr. Xian, my face cramped just now, so I'm sorry. Chu-bai immediately apologized. Chu-bai looked at the list of invigilators for each subject and knew that Xian Liangkai was the invigilator for all the subjects in this examination hall. If he offended Xian Liangkai, it would be disadvantageous for him. After all, if Chu-bai wanted to cheat by looking at other people's answers, his gaze would inevitably look elsewhere. Listen carefully, Xian Liangkai warned sternly, but did not say anything else. Yes, yes. Chu-bai nodded honestly, looking like an obedient student. However, he was cursing Xian Liangkai in his heart. Wasn't he just a lousy PE teacher? He had no culture at all. He was all muscles. One look and you could tell that he was a simple-minded guy. After a while, the English audition ended. The candidates left the examination hall in an orderly manner. When most of the candidates had left, Xian Liangkai also prepared to leave. Just as he left the examination hall, Xian Liangkai bumped into Song Zhenyu. Presumably, Song Zhenyu was also one of the invigilators on this floor. Xian Liangkai was overjoyed. He was about to greet Song Zhenyu, but he suddenly swallowed his words. Then, he quickly left. He avoided Song Zhenyu like the plague. When he finally reached the first floor, Xian Liangkai breathed a sigh of relief. Mr. Xian. Suddenly, a student's greeting came from the side. Xian Liangkai turned to look and was almost scared out of his wit. Wang Haoren, what's the matter? Xian Liangkai's face twitched a few times as he said in a trembling voice. Nothing. I just wanted to talk to Mr. Xian on a whim. Wang Haoren smiled and turned to walk in front. Xian Liangkai could only follow helplessly. Not long after, the two of them arrived at the field. I didn't harass Teacher Song. When I bumped into her outside the exam hall, I didn't even dare to greet her. If you don't believe me, you can ask Teacher Song. Please let me go. Xian Liangkai couldn't help but speak first. Wang Haoren couldn't help but laugh when he saw Xian Liangcai's reaction. Teacher Xian, I got it. Don't be nervous. I didn't ask you to come here to talk to you about this. After comforting Xian Liangcai, he went straight to the point. I know that you are also one of the invigilators. There is a student called Chu Bai in the exam hall that you are invigilating, right? Yes. Just now in the examination room, he was looking around. I even scolded him. Xian Liangcai nodded. Looking around, is it? Wang Haoren chuckled. He understood that Chu Bai was familiarizing himself with the examination room, making it easier for him to cheat. Then when you invigilate, remember to pay attention to this Chu Bai. You must keep an eye on him. Don't let him look around, not even once. Okay, I will definitely keep an eye on him. Xian Liangcai nodded vigorously and agreed immediately. As an invigilator, all he had to do was keep an eye on an examinee. It couldn't be any simpler. Wang Haoren asked for Xian Liangcai's WeChat and transferred 50,000 yuan to him. Student Wang, no, young Master Wang, you are… Xian Liangcai was a little confused. This is only half of it. There will be another half after the matter is done. But if you don't keep an eye on Chu Bai, you will bear the consequences. Wang Haoren said harshly. Stopping Chu Bai from cheating was too important. He didn't want anything to go wrong. If Xian Liangcai only agreed verbally and didn't do as he was told, it wouldn't be good. He would give Xian Liangcai some benefits and a warning. Xian Liangcai would definitely listen. After all, to Xian Liangcai, this matter wasn't something that went against his conscience or morals. Xian Liangcai only needed to exercise his authority as an invigilator. Don't worry, I will do as you say, young Master Wang. Xian Liangcai couldn't wait to confirm the payment on his phone. He was overjoyed. It was time for the evening self-study session. Tomorrow was the mock exam, so the school bell had been adjusted in advance. It was already time for the evening self-study session, but the bell didn't ring. Some of the third-year classes were still free to do their own activities, while some were under the supervision of their homeroom teacher and had their evening self-study session as usual. It was unfortunate. Wang Haoren's class belonged to the latter. At this moment, Song Zhenyu was sitting on the edge of the classroom, writing lesson plans while watching the students. Outside the classroom, the sound of students playing could be heard. Gradually, singing could be heard from some of the classes. It seemed that some of the classes were organizing some activities under the homeroom teacher's supervision. After the singing ended, what followed was a round of applause. The commotion outside was too loud. It was impossible to quietly attend the evening self-study session. Song Zhenyu couldn't stand it anymore. She heaved a sigh of relief and said, "Forget it. Tomorrow is the mock exam, so I can't let you guys be too nervous. You guys can do your own activities and relax." Long live Teacher Song. Teacher Song is wise. Cheers could be heard in the classroom. Keep it down and don't run around outside. You guys can learn from the other classes and organize some activities. Be more artistic. Song Zhenyu didn't want the students to play too crazily. Why don't we sing? Teacher Song, you can start. That's good, that's good. The students cheered. There was a multimedia computer in the classroom, and it was equipped with a microphone. Singing was indeed a good idea. Singing is fine, but I won't be singing. You guys go ahead. I'll applaud you. Song Zhenyu quickly waved her hands. Her voice was loud, and she usually sang by shouting. It was fine if she sang in front of her friends, but if she sang in front of the students, it would be too embarrassing. Since Song Zhenyu refused, the students naturally couldn't force it. Thus, they could only change their minds. Student committee member. Someone shouted loudly. No, I can't do it either. I'm the student committee member, not the arts committee member. I don't know how to sing. Su Muyen also refused. What about the arts committee member? Everyone turned and looked at Wang Haoren. That's right, he was the arts committee member. Being stared at by everyone, Wang Haoren wasn't nervous at all. In fact, he was a little happy. He couldn't wait any longer, okay? Wang Haoren! Wang Haoren! Before Wang Haoren could say anything, there were shouts from the girls around them. As the school hunk, Wang Haoren had too many fangirls. When they heard that Wang Haoren was going to sing, they were instantly excited. Does being handsome mean that you can sing well? A bunch of shallow women, what are you shouting for? Chu Bai was very disdainful. He didn't believe that Wang Haoren could sing. Chapter 27. Under everyone's gaze, Wang Haoren walked to the podium and picked up the microphone. The cheers and shouts around him also stopped in time. At this time, Wang Haoren's magnetic voice slowly sounded after being amplified by the multimedia sound system. Dreams need to be tempered by wind and rain, and also experience disappointment and confusion. But as long as you keep moving forward, you can break through the layers of fog and let the sun shine through the clouds, emitting a scorching light. This song Dream is Possible is for myself, and for all the students here who have dreams. Of course, it's also for the beautiful teacher who teaches us English. Oh. The short opening speech directly ignited the students' strong blood and ignited the atmosphere in the air to the peak. Almost all of the students here were in their third year of high school who were working hard for the college entrance examination. They were all about 18 years old and hot-blooded young men and women, who didn't have dreams in their hearts. Even Song Zhenyu, as a teacher, inadvertently recalled the time when she took the college entrance examination and felt a little excited. However, Song Zhenyu was very worried that Wang Haoren would fail. In fact, there was a Chinese version of this song called My Dream. The English version was much more difficult to sing. Was Wang Haoren too arrogant in order to give face to her English teacher? The cheers continued for a while, and the prelude of the song slowly sounded. The students stopped cheering and quieted down. Wang Haoren opened his mouth. I will run, I will climb, I will soar. Translation: I will run, I will climb, I will spread my wings and soar. His voice had the emptiness of a youth, but also the magnetism of a man. These two were originally contradictory, but they were merged together without any flaws. Moreover, it was as if they were made by nature, and it gave off an indescribable charm. With just one sentence, he captured the hearts of everyone present. This was probably the so-called kneeling when he opened his mouth. The worry in Song Zhenyu's heart completely disappeared after the lyrics fell. I'm undefeated. Translation: I'm invincible. I'm jumping out of my skin, I'm jumping out of my own shackles, I'm plucking the strings. Yeah, I believe it, yes, I believe it. The past is everything where it don't make us what we are. Translation: History determines the past, but it cannot determine the present you and me. The melody was low and deep. It was not agitated or surging. In fact, there was even a hint of depression. It's just like when we're pursuing our dreams, we're experiencing loneliness, or we're encountering difficulties and obstacles. With Wang Haoren's singing, the melody gradually faded. When your dreams come true, you're unstoppable. Take the hot, chase the sun, find the beautiful. Translation: Flapping the wings, chasing the sun, looking for the beautiful, we will glow in the dark, turning stone into gold. His voice was high-pitched, as if it could seep into everyone's hearts and souls, giving the students who were dreaming of their own path the courage to overcome all obstacles. The melody and lyrics of this song originally gave people a wonderful sense of encouragement. However, after Wang Haoren's singing, this feeling was magnified several times. All the students present, including Song Zhenyu, were shocked by Wang Haoren's singing. More than half of the students even took out their mobile phones to record this shocking sound. Su Muyen really regretted not bringing her phone to school. She turned her head and wanted to urge Wen Jing to record the video. However, before she could say anything, she swallowed her words. Because Wen Jing was already recording. To be more precise, Wen Jing was actually the first person present to record the video. This singing boy was her idol and secret boyfriend, okay? She was more enthusiastic than any other girl present. When your dreams come true, you're unstoppable. Take the hot, chase the sun, find the beautiful. Translation: flapping the wings, chasing the sun, looking for the beautiful, we will glow in the dark, turning stone into gold. And we'll dream it possible, we'll dream it possible. As soon as Wang Haoren's last line of the song fell, the classroom of about 50 people burst into thunderous applause and cheers. Of course, some students were a little unsociable, such as Chu Bai. This Wang Haoren can actually sing? Chu Bai's heart was filled with jealousy. This guy is handsome, good in his studies, has a good family background, and sings well. The heavens were too unfair. Wang Haoren really hides his talent. I've been a homeroom teacher for more than 2 years. It's only now that I know there's such a good singer in my class. Song Zhenyu was surprised and happy, but also a little angry. She grumbled, "We've held several campus singing competitions before, but no one in our class signed up. Why didn't you go at that time?" Before Wang Haoren could say anything, his number one fan, Wen Jing, said excitedly, "What campus singing competition?" If he went, he'd be dragging down Wang Haoren's status and class. When Song Zhenyu heard this, she nodded in agreement. When she had watched the campus singer competition, she had thought that the students' singing was quite decent, but compared to Wang Haoren's singing, they were simply too lame. This was the difference between a bronze singer and a king singer. If you were a king singer, would you be interested in competing with a bunch of bronze singers? Although that's true, Wang Haoren, you've gone too far. If you want to be punished, you have to sing another song. Song Zhenyu said. One more song. One more song. A bunch of people in the audience agreed. Wang Haoren hadn't sung enough. This was exactly what he wanted. Then I'll sing The One I Love Is You. Oh! Oh! There was another wave of strange cries. This was a love confession song. It made one's imagination run wild. Of course, Wang Haoren had chosen this song for a reason. Soon, the accompaniment of the song started. Wang Haoren walked down from the podium with the microphone in his hand. He paced around the classroom and stopped in front of Song Zhenyu. Song Zhenyu was stunned. "Ms. Song, I need to build up some emotions for this song. I'll just watch you sing," Wang Haoren explained with a smile. Suddenly, the prelude of the song ended. Wang Haoren looked into Song Zhenyu's eyes without blinking and sang with deep emotion. "In the blissful country of love. You're the only one for me. The only one I love is you. The only one I really love is you." After hearing these lyrics, Song Zhenyu was so nervous that her toes were clenched tightly. His singing skills were superb, and he had a handsome face. Song Zhenyu was a little overwhelmed. "You only learn to cherish after you lose. But I cherish you. The pain heals. The deeper the love, the deeper the love." Song Zhenyu gradually immersed herself in the situation and ignored the other party's identity, treating herself as an ordinary girl. And the person in front of her was just a boy singing a love song to her. At the same time, Wang Haoren also received 2 system notifications. Ding, the female lead Song Zhenyu's favorability towards the host +10. Current favorability, 40. Very close. Ding, the original plot is affected. Obtained 200 villain points. Chapter 28. I'll hold you tightly in my arms. I'll hold you in my palms. You're the one I really love. In the pure world of love. You're my one and only. Never, ever doubt. Wang Haoren sang with deep emotions. Song Zhenyu looked at him with a slightly intoxicated gaze. This scene caused the atmosphere in the classroom to gradually boil. Song Zhenyu was also pulled back to reality because of the commotion around her. "You've built up enough emotions. Go to the side and stop singing to me." Song Zhenyu returned to normal and suddenly scolded him with a smile. She grabbed Wang Haoren's shoulder and pushed him away. Wang Haoren took advantage of the situation and stopped in front of Su Muyen. Was he going to sing a love song to Su Muyen? Of course not. When it came to pursuing Su Muyen, Wang Haoren had already decided on the strategy of loosening the reins to grasp them better. This also proved that Su Muyen also liked this strategy. She was the kind of girl who appeared to be easy to approach but was incomparably arrogant. Towards this kind of girl, you couldn't give her too much face. If you chase after her directly, she won't even bother with you. If you didn't care about her, she would instead feel itchy in her heart. Wang Haoren's gaze shifted and landed on Wenjing. Su Muyen felt a little awkward. He was standing in front of her, but he was looking at Wenjing. What was the meaning of this? Wang Haoren's charming and magnetic voice sounded again with the accompaniment. I treat you as my heir. So inseparable. I say loudly that the one I love is you. In the blissful country of love. You're my one and only. The only one I love is you. The one I really love is you. Wenjing was already infatuated with Wang Haoren. Now that Wang Haoren suddenly sang a love song to her, the excitement in her heart couldn't be described with words. Su Muyen, on the other hand, had mixed feelings. Wang Haoren did not look at her, but stood in front of her. This was similar to singing to Su Muyen. At least, that was what Su Muyen felt. The love song, which already had a unique charm, became even more touching after being performed by a godly singer. Most importantly, the singer of the love song was a super handsome guy. This scene was too seductive. However, what made Su Muyen a little jealous was that Wang Haoren was not looking at her. He was singing to his best friend, Wenjing. Although she was jealous, Su Muyen could not control her accelerated heartbeat and her slightly hot cheeks. In the blessed land of love. You're my one and only. The only one I love is you. I truly love you. The only one I love is you. The one I truly love is you. The one I love is you. At the end of the song, Wang Haoren's burning gaze moved slightly and collided with Su Muyen's gaze. The lingering charm of the love song, coupled with a pair of charming peach blossom eyes. At this moment, Su Muyen only felt her heart tremble. For the first time in her life, Su Muyen felt the legendary feeling of a maiden's heart being pounded. Ding, one of the female leads, Su Muyen's favorability towards the host +10. Current favorability is 50. Feelings of admiration. Ding, the host has seriously affected the direction of the plot, received 500 villain points, Chu Bai's protagonist aura -30, the host's villain aura +30. Receiving the notification from the system, Wang Haoren was secretly delighted. He received 500 villain points in one go, which was the highest reward he had received so far. But thinking about it, this was normal. As a villain, he made the female lead, Su Muyen's heart move. It would be unreasonable if he did not give this much reward. When Wang Haoren looked at the system's message, he also looked at his current attribute. Host, Wang Haoren combat strength, 289 charm, 268 villain aura, 289 villain points, 1300 skills, master level painting copying skill, master level combat type Wing Chun skill, God level singing skill. Wang Haoren's affectionate performance of the love song not only received the favorability of the two female leads, Su and Song, but also received applause. Chu Bai was still the most unsociable in the crowd. His eyes were fixed on the scene where Su Muyen was looking at Wang Haoren with infatuation. Su Muyen's eyes, why is there something wrong? Don't tell me she likes Wang Haoren? Chu Bai's heart was uncomfortable. He only hated that he could not sing, otherwise, he would also sing a love song on the stage to get Su Muyen's attention. Chu Bai felt uncomfortable for a while, but soon calmed down. When the results of the joint entrance examination came out, it was time to turn the tables. As long as his results were in the top 10 of the class, Su Muyen would be his girlfriend. Su Muyen would not agree? Chu Bai was not afraid. He was the best at pestering. Moreover, Chu Bai had thought about it. He would respect Su Muyen's wishes and not disturb her before the college entrance examination. But once the college entrance examination was over, Su Muyen would be his official girlfriend. Moreover, Father Su's attitude towards him was very good. He believed that Father Su would not object. After all, it was Father Su who agreed on behalf of his daughter. Wang Haoran, I received my future father-in-law's approval in advance. What right do you have to compete with me? Chubai could not help but feel proud. The next day, Saturday, according to the schedule of the college entrance examination, the first class in the morning was Chinese. When the exam officially began, Chubai directly flipped to the essay question at the end. The essay's personal style was too strong, and it was not easy to copy. Chubai did not intend to cheat on the essay, but wanted to write it based on his own standard. And the topic that he usually focused on in class was essays. Chubai spent about 40 minutes writing an essay. Although the standard of the essay was not high, it was basically on point. The essay's total score was 60 points. According to Chubai's estimation, he should be able to score around 40 points. This was enough. Chubai let out a light breath and prepared to cheat. In the 40 minutes that he wrote the essay, those outstanding students must have done a lot of the questions in front. He would be done with copying. But when Chubai raised his head, before he could use his X-ray vision, a slightly fierce face in front of him magnified in his vision. Student, focus on the exam. Don't look anywhere else. Just look at your own paper. Xian Liangkai reminded. What could Chubai do? Of course, he could only obediently nod. He pretended to do the questions for a few minutes. He guessed that Xian Liangkai would not pay attention to him and wanted to cheat again. But when he raised his head, Xian Liangkai came over again. Why are you looking around? Are you trying to cheat? If you look again, I'll disqualify you. Xian Liangkai warned. Chubai could only lower his head and look at his own paper. Suddenly, he heard the sound of a chair being moved. As Chubai looked at his paper, he saw from the corner of his eye that Xian Liangkai had moved the chair next to him. Then, Xian Liangkai sat down directly next to him and stared at him at close range. F***CK. Is this guy crazy? Chubai cursed in his heart. He even wanted to grab the chair and smash it on Xian Liangkai's head. With Xian Liangkai staring at him, how could he cheat? Chubai was angry and resentful, but he could not lose his temper. He continued to do the questions and prayed that Xian Liangkai would leave after a while. But Chubai was disappointed. Xian Liangkai was watching him the whole time. Chubai completely relied on his own ability to deal with the Chinese exam. But his grades were poor to begin with. Coupled with the anger in his heart, when the exam ended, there were still a lot of questions left unfinished. After the exam, Chubai was a little dispirited, but he still forced himself to stay alert. He would definitely fail the Chinese exam. It would drag down his overall score. But if the math exam in the afternoon and the rest of the exam went smoothly, then he could still salvage the situation. At 3 in the afternoon, the math exam. The invigilator, Xian Liangkai, had just finished handing out the math paper. Then, under Chubai's startled and frightened gaze, he moved a chair and sat down next to him. It's over. Chubai's face was as if his parents had died. Chapter 29. Sunday, 5 o'clock. After the English exam ended, it also signaled the end of the joint mock exam. Chubai came out of the exam hall with a face full of disappointment. As usual, the evening self-study session was held. However, there was still more than an hour before the end of the session. Chubai was in a bad mood and planned to take a walk by the river not far from the school. However, as soon as he stepped out of the school gate, he met the old principal. "Young man, why do you look so down? Did the exam not go well?" "Hello, principal." Chubai respectfully greeted and then nodded. "It's just a mock exam. If you didn't perform well, then so be it. This doesn't represent your future results." The old principal comforted and encouraged him. You're right. Chu Bai forced a smile. If it was just a simple mock exam, then so be it. However, if he didn't perform well in the mock exam, then his dream of making Su Muyen his girlfriend would be ruined. One could imagine how depressed Chu Bai was. However, he couldn't tell the old principal about this. I see that you're going out. Aren't you going to eat dinner? The old principal suddenly asked. I'm going out to relax. I'm not eating. Young people who don't eat on time will easily get gastric problems. You must eat on time. How about this? My house is nearby and I'm going back for dinner. Come with me. The old principal invited. When Chu Bai heard this, he naturally didn't object. The principal invited a student to his house for dinner. This was giving him a lot of face. Even the teachers in the school might not have this opportunity. He had to go. He might even be able to get closer to the principal. However, even if he went, Chu Bai still pretended to decline before agreeing. The next morning, the results of the mock exam were out. During the second period, the form teachers of each class made a table of the students' results and distributed it to the students. The atmosphere in Wang Haoren's class suddenly became noisy. Their class was a liberal arts class. Su Muyen and Wang Haoren were tied for first place in the class with a total score of 682. For the students in the class, this was a little unexpected, but it was also reasonable. In the past exams, the first and second place candidates were Su Muyen and Wang Haoren. Their results were about the same, so it was entirely up to them to decide who was better and who was worse. But this time, it was a coincidence that the scores were tied. A score of 682 in liberal arts was already quite high. If the college entrance examination had such a score, the two of them could choose any university in the country. Wang Haoren and Su Muyen's title as top students was well-deserved. The students whose grades were lower than the two of them were almost always in the top 10 of their classes. When Su Muyen saw that Chu Bai was not in the top 10, the knot in her heart finally disappeared. You owe me a cup of milk tea. Wang Haoren appeared beside Su Muyen. Don't worry, I won't forget about you. Su Muyen smiled very happily. This was the agreement between the two of them. If Wang Haoren stopped Chu Bai from cheating, Su Muyen would treat him to milk tea. Where is Chu Bai's ranking? Out of curiosity, Su Muyen searched the class's report card to see where Chu Bai was. But she couldn't find it after looking for a long time. Look upside down. Wang Haoren reminded her. Su Muyen found it very quickly. Last place? Su Muyen opened her mouth in surprise. Last time, Chu Bai's ranking was in the bottom half of the class. Even if he didn't improve, he should at least maintain it. But now, he was back to square one, the famous last place. I'm guessing that he cheated in the last monthly exam. These results are actually his true standard. Wang Haoren added. I see. I thought that his results improved by leaps and bounds last time because I tutored him. Plus, he's very smart. Su Muyen came to a realization. Did your brain get damaged from all the studying? He told you that and you really believed him? Wang Haoren said disdainfully. Why are you scolding me? Su Muyen pouted. She was a girl, okay? He actually scolded her for being damaged in the head. I'm not scolding you. I'm reminding you to know Chu Bai's true colors. Don't be deceived by his lies. Stay away from him. Boys all like to lie, Su Muyen muttered, then looked at Wang Haoren inadvertently. Would you lie to me? Wang Haoren looked at her. Su Muyen's eyes were burning. Deep in her watery eyes, there seemed to be a surge of emotions. This chick was really attracted to him. But Wang Haoren didn't think that was enough. When boys lie to girls, there are usually two situations. It's either for money or for sex. Do you think I need to lie to you? Su Muyen was a little confused. She didn't seem to understand. Wang Haoren smiled and continued. I have money. Of course, I won't lie to you. As for sex, I've told you before. You forgot again. Do you need me to repeat it? I really. Su Muyen finally understood. Her face turned red. But it wasn't because she was shy. It was because she was angry. I know. You're not interested in me. I'll remember it, Su Muyen said what Wang Haoren didn't finish. It's good that you remember it. Wang Haoren walked away with a smile. Su Muyen looked at Wang Haoren's back. She was so angry that she stomped her feet. She wanted to ignore this bad boy. But this bad boy's face kept lingering in her mind. Ding, the host has seduced the heart of one of the female leads, Su Muyen. Received 200 villain points. Wang Haoren. After the favorability was high, seducing the female lead would give him villain points? Then he had to seduce her more in the future. Don't look down on people. It's almost time for the joint exam. At that time, you'll know who's the bad student. A bunch of trash. Just wait to be slapped in the face by my results. In another part of the classroom, the laughter of the students could be heard. Several students were repeating the same words over and over. Chu Bai's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. The sentence that the people around him kept repeating was Chu Bai's original idea. A few days ago, Chu Bai pretended to be diligent in his studies. During the morning reading, he screamed and yelled, which made the students around him very unhappy. At that time, Chu Bai scolded them and said a crazy sentence. That crazy sentence was the sentence that the people around him kept repeating. Ding, the host controlled from behind the scenes and prevented the main character, Chu Bai, from participating in the joint exam. Received 300 villain points. Wang Haoren received the reward. He looked at the lively atmosphere in the classroom. But he didn't mock Chu Bai. As a big villain, mocking the main character was too low-end. Wang Haoren didn't want to do it himself. If he really wanted to mock, he would ask his underlings to do it. But there were too many people mocking Wang Haoren now. It didn't seem necessary. Wang Haoren opened the panel and looked at the villain points. Villain points, 1800. So he was already so rich? Wang Haoren immediately used 1000 villain points to exchange for Best Actor level acting. There were still 800 villain points left. He could still draw one more prize. Ding, the host is in luck. You have drawn a clairvoyance ability worth 5000 villain points. Do you want to use it immediately? Nonsense, I don't need to save it for the new year. Wang Haoren was so excited that he almost jumped 3 meters high. This was Chu Bai's golden finger. Now he had it too. And it only cost him 500 villain points. He had made a big profit. He had to try it out quickly. What should he use to try it out? Wang Haoren's gaze swept across the classroom and then fell on Su Muyen. He began to focus and looked at Su Muyen. Soon, Wang Haoren's breathing became heavy. After a long time, he reluctantly withdrew his gaze. Su Muyen usually wore a school uniform. The school uniform was loose and easy to cover her figure. He really didn't know if he didn't look, but he was shocked when he saw it. Su Muyen's adolescent nutrition was quite good. Wang Haoren used to give Su Muyen 95 points. Now he felt that he could add 2 points to Su Muyen, 97 points. Wang Haoren was pleasantly surprised, but soon felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. He should be the second to know about Su Muyen, right? System. Has the main character Chu Bai used his ability on the female lead? The host wants to inquire about the main character's information. 100 villain points are required. Do you want to inquire? Check. The main character Chu Bai has not used his ability on any female lead. Wang Haoren suddenly felt much better. But thinking about it, it was normal. Except for a few wretched protagonists, the other protagonists were generally noble. It was normal that Chu Bai didn't do such things. Unlike a villain like himself, who was curious and wanted to look, so he just looked. It was just that looking too much would hurt his body, so he still needed to be moderate. The surrounding students constantly ridiculed Chu Bai, making him feel ashamed. Finally, he couldn't take it anymore and the pent-up anger in his heart exploded. Bang! F*ck, all of you shut up. If anyone says anything else, I won't be polite. Chu Bai angrily slammed the table, scaring the people around him. The voices that ridiculed Chu Bai immediately stopped. Chu Bai often fought with the youths outside, and basically never suffered any losses. He had the aura of a ruthless person. The moment Chu Bai got angry, the ordinary students around him were immediately intimidated and became as quiet as cicadas in winter. Wang Haoren didn't want to see this situation. He patted Fan Jian next to him and whispered a few words. Chapter 30. Fan Jian came out from the crowd and jumped in front of Chu Bai. What are you doing? You're a lousy student, a piece of trash. Isn't everyone right? You look like you want to hit someone, don't you? Try it if you have the guts. I'll stand here and let you hit me. I bet you won't dare to touch me. The wounds on Fan Jian's face had not fully healed. Some parts were still bruised. Coupled with his arrogant words, he looked like he was asking for a beating. Chu Bai clenched his fist. Grandson, I'm asking you to hit me. Why don't you dare to hit me? Come on, hit me? Come on, come on. Fan Jian did not give up. He stretched his neck and stuck his face out, asking for a beating. His expression was so despicable that it made one's hair stand on end. The hot-tempered Chu Bai could not hold it in any longer and gave Fan Jian a slap. This slap was very satisfying. But Chu Bai regretted it a little. Fan Jian was obviously trying to provoke him. Sure enough, after Fan Jian was slapped, he turned around and was about to complain. But as soon as Fan Jian left the classroom, he turned back and went in. There was an old man who came in with Fan Jian. It was the old principal. Seeing this, Chu Bai's worry turned into joy. He immediately greeted the old principal. Many of the surrounding students did not know the principal. But after hearing Chu Bai's greeting, they immediately understood the old man's identity. The students followed Chu Bai's example and greeted the principal politely. The old principal smiled and nodded at the students. Then, his gaze fell on Chu Bai and Fan Jian. I heard what happened just now outside the classroom. You two are classmates. It's fate that you two can meet. Classmates should understand and love each other. The old headmaster started a long speech, trying to brainwash everyone. The surrounding students were stunned. They nodded from time to time, thinking that what the old principal said made sense. Wang Haoren, on the other hand, knew what was going on. He knew that the old principal wanted to resolve this matter for Chu Bai. The truth was just as Wang Haoren had guessed. The old principal had said so much and only criticized Chu Bai, but he didn't give Chu Bai any punishment. The slap that Fan Jian received was given to Chu Bai for free. Wang Haoren finally understood that the old principal was an important supporting character in the main character's faction. Moreover, it was the kind of supporting role that would help the main character a lot. In many web novels, this kind of supporting role was very disadvantageous for the villain. They would often turn the situation around, allowing the protagonist to turn the tables and the villain to fall into a difficult situation. Looks like I need to think of a way to deal with this important supporting character. I can't let him keep helping Chu Bai, Wang Haoren thought to himself. After the old principal mediated the conflict, he wanted to talk to Chu Bai alone during the break. On the field, the old principal and Chu Bai took a stroll and tried to ease the tension. The mock exam is over. You haven't performed for a long time. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is the college entrance exam. That's the time to see your true abilities. The principal is right. Chu Bai nodded heavily. His mood instantly improved. Although he had failed the mock exam, he still had a chance. As long as he performed well in the college entrance exam, it would be fine. In any case, he wouldn't meet someone like Xian Liangkai during the college entrance exam. The invigilators during the college entrance exam were from other schools or classrooms transferred from other places. In the college entrance exam, the examinees and invigilators didn't know each other. This was to prevent cheating. If he met one, Chu Bai wasn't afraid. The nature of the college entrance exam was different. It determined the future of the examinees. If there really was an invigilator sitting next to him and watching, Chu-Bai could use the excuse of the invigilator affecting his exam to protest to the invigilator. In this way, Chu-Bai would be able to perform very well. The previous one should be a sure thing. It was even possible that it would be a heavy one. From the looks of it, you should be fine. Go back to class, the old principal said to Chu-Bai. Principal, I have a small request. I hope you can agree to it. Go ahead, the principal said with a smile. When I went to your house for dinner last night, you inadvertently mentioned that you would be going to your friend's place to play stone gambling this afternoon. You want to go too? Although I'm young, I've learned the true essence of stone gambling from a legendary figure in stone gambling. 9 out of 10 times I'll make a profit. This, principal, please bring me along. My family isn't doing well. My parents are working very hard. I also want to earn some money to share their burden. Chu-Bai played the sentimental card. What a filial child. The old principal saw that Chu-Bai was serious and didn't seem to be lying. He said, Go and ask for leave from your form teacher. My form teacher isn't very easy to communicate with, so I'd like to ask for your help. Chu-Bai smiled foolishly. Although Song Zhenyu didn't publicize the incident with Wenjing, she was definitely still angry. Chu-Bai didn't dare to ask for leave from Song Zhenyu. If he did, he would definitely be scolded. Moreover, he wouldn't be able to ask for leave. In the afternoon, Wang Haoren found a quiet place and made a call. This call was to his cheap mother. Because in Wang Haoren's memory, his cheap mother had said, Our family has connections. You can bully whoever you want in school. Wang Haoren didn't know what the so-called connections were. But what he was sure of was that this relationship was definitely not simple. The phone rang for a while, but no one picked up. After that, Wang Haoren called several times, but it was still the same. According to his cheap mother's schedule, she should be busy at the company at this time. Wang Haoren gave up on the call and prepared to go to his cheap mother's company. After all, this matter couldn't be explained clearly over the phone. Even if it was through the phone, he still had to meet to talk. Wang Haoren came to the office. Song Zhenyu graded English papers until 4 in the morning yesterday. Today, she was in low spirit. Taking advantage of the lunch break, she leaned over the desk to take a nap. At this time, there was no one else in the office. Wang Haoren's heart skipped a beat. Suddenly, he leaned over to Song Zhenyu's ear and sang the song Love Is You: I'll hold you tightly in my arms, I'll hold you in my palms, who told me to really love you, in the pure world of love, you're my only, never, ever doubt. Song Zhenyu slept very lightly. The familiar singing in her ear made her sleepily open her eyes. What entered her eyes was a handsome boy's face. Song Zhenyu subconsciously smiled. Ding, the host has stirred the heart of one of the female leads, Song Zhenyu. Received 200 villain points. I know you can sing well, but you don't have to come to the office to sing. I'm really sleepy. Song Zhenyu was woken up, but she didn't get angry. Instead, she said very gently, Sister Zhenyu, I want to take a leave. Can you approve it for me? Wang Haoren handed over the leave request and pen. Why is it another one asking for leave? Song Zhenyu asked casually. Who else is asking for leave? Chu-Bai. When Song Zhenyu said this name, she was obviously a little unhappy. She originally didn't want to approve Chu-Bai's leave, but Chu-Bai brought up the principal. Song Zhenyu had no choice but to give him face. Why is Chu-Bai asking for leave? Wang Haoren was a little confused, but now wasn't the time to think about this. He pointed at the leave request. Sister Zhenyu, please help me. Song Zhenyu didn't ask for the reason and straightforwardly signed the leave request. In her opinion, for a student like Wang Haoren with excellent grades to ask for leave, there must be something very important. She just needed to approve it. There was no need to ask so much. Chapter 31. Wang Haoren left the school. Then he took Cullinan to a towering office building. This entire office building belonged to a cosmetics company called National Beauty and Heavenly Fragrance. And the boss of this cosmetics company was Wang Haoran's mother. The driver went to park the car, and Wang Haoran walked to the front desk in the lobby on the first floor. The receptionist at the front desk was a very outstanding young beauty. If 100 was the full score, this beauty at the front desk could give 90 points. As a cosmetics company, this was a standard. After all, the front desk was equivalent to half a shop front. The receptionist at the front desk, of course, had to be beautiful. In Wang Haoran's memory, he had come here no more than 3 times, and he was still very young when he came here. It was impossible for the people in the company to have seen Wang Haoran. If he forced his way into the company, there would be security to stop him. Although Wang Haoran could fight, it was not necessary. So Wang Haoran could only follow the normal procedure and come to the front desk. He was going to let the front desk pass the news of him coming to the company to his mother. At this time, at the front desk, there were 5 or 6 people in line. Wang Haoran did not want to line up, so he directly cut the line and went to the front desk first. As the crown prince here, it was a joke to line up in his own company. Wang Haoran disturbed the order, and the beauty at the front desk immediately stopped her actions and stared at Wang Haoran with her big eyes. Wang Haoran suddenly froze. Why did this feel like déjà vu? Then the beauty at the front desk reprimanded him loudly and even asked the security to drive him out. Then his mother came down, his identity as the crown prince was exposed, and the beauty at the front desk frantically apologized to him. It turned out to be young Master Wang. You are much more handsome in person than in the photo. The beauty at the front desk stared at Wang Haoran seriously for a while and immediately said with a smile, "You have seen my photo?" Wang Haoran was a little surprised. "Yes, there are photos of you in President Zhen's office and every corridor of the company building," the beauty at the front desk explained. "Ah!" Wang Haoran was shocked. However, he quickly realized that his cheap mother had asked him to put it on. The purpose was to make it easier for her to see her son more often. Sure enough, entering the company to do business, being ridiculed by the security guard or the receptionist, and then revealing his identity to slap them in the face, this kind of plot was exclusive to the protagonist. It was impossible for them to find out about me, the villain. After Wang Haoran complained in his heart, he said to the beautiful receptionist, "I want to see your boss Zhen. Please help me pass the message." "Okay, young Master Wang." The front desk lady picked up the landline and dialed a number. "Young Master Wang," the secretary replied that CEO Zhen is currently in a meeting. "I'll send you to CEO Zhen's office to wait." The beautiful woman at the front desk didn't care about the people in the queue and enthusiastically led the way. Soon, the two of them entered the elevator. The beautiful lady at the front desk pressed the button for the 28th floor. The elevator door closed and then slowly rose. "This elevator is so stuffy," the beautiful receptionist suddenly complained. "Is that so?" The elevator was equipped with air conditioning and an exhaust system. Wang Haoran didn't feel stuffy at all. However, Wang Haoran soon understood why the beautiful receptionist was stuffy. The beautiful receptionist unbuttoned her collar a little and fanned herself with her hand. She turned her face to the side and didn't look at Wang Haoran. However, the beautiful lady at the front desk moved closer to Wang Haoran. The beautiful scenery was close at hand. Should he look or not? After exiting the elevator, he came to the corridor. On the walls on both sides of the corridor, there was a recent photo of Wang Haoran every once in a while. As long as someone saw Wang Haoran, they would instantly recognize his identity as the Crown Prince. The corridor was very long. Along the way, there were many beautiful women in the workplace passing by. Those long legs were simply dazzling. As a cosmetics company, the employees were basically all women. Moreover, they were the kind of women with good looks. Those who were too ugly or mediocre in appearance and figure weren't qualified to work in this company. There was air conditioning everywhere in the company building, so it was very cool. However, these beautiful women in the workplace seemed to feel quite hot. They either loosened their clothes a little or pulled their skirts up a little. The charm of these women in the workplace was completely incomparable to the girls in school. Wang Haoren was very glad that he had seen the world at Wenjing's place. He could still handle this kind of dangerous situation. Otherwise, it would really be embarrassing. After passing through the dangerous corridor, they finally arrived outside the CEO's office. "Young Master Wang, this is the place," the beautiful receptionist said. "Okay." Wang Haoren nodded. "Young Master Wang, can we add each other on WeChat?" The beautiful receptionist plucked up her courage and asked. Wang Haoren looked at her in surprise. The beautiful receptionist was nervous for a moment. Then, she quickly explained, "What I mean is, if you add me on WeChat, you can inform me the next time you come. Then, I can arrange it in advance." "Okay." Of course, Wang Haoren knew her real intention. However, he didn't expose her. Instead, he took out his phone and opened the QR code. The beautiful receptionist hurriedly scanned the QR code and successfully added Wang Haoren as a friend. "My name is Du Ning." The beautiful receptionist hugged her phone and left happily after leaving this sentence. Wang Haoren walked into the office. "Hello, young Master Wang, I'm CEO Jin's secretary." A woman who was working at her desk suddenly stood up and greeted Wang Haoren respectfully. Wang Haoren was stunned. He subconsciously sized up this woman. This woman's appearance was comparable to Du Ning's. However, she had a good figure. She was wearing high heels and looked to be over 180 centimeters. Her height was estimated to be over 172 centimeters. The curve of her body was a little exaggerated. Du Ning was 90 points. This woman's figure was 3 points. A total of 93 points. "My cheat mother's company sure has a lot of beauties," Wang Haoren sighed to himself. "What would you like to drink?" the secretary asked. "A glass of water will be fine." Wang Haoren sat down on the sofa in the office. The secretary quickly poured a glass of water and bowed. "Young Master Wang, please wait for a moment. CEO Jin is in a meeting. I'll go and see how long it will take before I come back to you." Wang Haoren nodded. His eyes inadvertently glanced at the name tag between the towering mountains. CEO's secretary, Fang Xian. In the meeting room, Wang Haoren's cheap mom, Zhenli, was currently discussing business matters with the company's top management. The meeting had been going on since the morning. The top management hadn't come up with a plan that satisfied Zhenli. Therefore, Zhenli was very irritated at the moment. Fang Xian gently pushed the door open and came in, indicating that she had something to report. "Didn't I tell you not to disturb me before the meeting ends? Don't you understand?" Zhenli said with a cold face. "CEO Jin, someone is looking for you." "It's you," Fang Xian quickly explained. "I didn't use anyone. Tell them to leave. I'm not free. I'm not seeing anyone now." Zhenli was a little irritable. The top management was as quiet as cicadas in winter. They didn't dare to speak. Zhenli was even angrier. She slammed the table. "Are you all stupid? Continue. Does anyone have a better plan?" Fang Xian saw the situation and didn't dare to provoke her boss. "CEO Jin, I'll immediately reply to your son and ask him to go back." "Go ahead," Zhenli replied casually, but she immediately reacted and said, "That's right. Wait, what did you just say? My son came to the company to look for me?" Chapter 32. "Yes, President Zhen. He's in your office now," Fang Xian replied with trepidation. "Let's adjourn." Zhenli gave the order to everyone. The anger on her face dissipated instantly and was replaced by a refreshing smile. Everyone was stunned by the speed at which she changed her expression. Didn't she say that she would not see anyone? Why did she end such an important meeting when she heard that her son was here? Despite their shock, they were relieved to hear Zhenli's words. They scattered like birds and beasts and hurried back to think of a plan. President Zhen, we haven't even decided on a plan. Isn't the meeting a waste of time? Fang Xian was confused. Let's go back to my office, Zhenli said. Seeing this, Fang Xian did not say anything more. She could tell that the company's business was not as important as her son. My dear son, I missed you so much. Zhenli's reaction when she saw Wang Haoren was similar to Wang Xiang's. However, instead of hugging him, she grabbed his head and kissed him a few times. Wang Haoren's forehead was instantly marked with a few lipstick marks. At the same time, he felt a little conflicted. He did not say "Mom" out loud. He needed a period of adjustment. After all, Wang Haoren had only transmigrated for less than 10 days. Wang Haoren sized up his cheap mother from a close distance. Zhenli gave birth at a very young age. Although she had an 18-year-old son, Wang Haoren, she was only 36 years old. Plus, she took good care of herself. On the surface, she looked about 30 years old. She was a proper city beauty. Zhenli's excellent genes played an important role in Wang Haoren's handsome appearance. In the original plot, after the Wang family's business was destroyed by the protagonist, the enemies of the Wang family began to persecute the Wang family. Wang Haoren's mother was driven by the protagonist's revenge. Zhenli's fate could be said to be very miserable. After suffering all kinds of inhumane humiliation, he finally committed suicide out of shame and resentment. I'm an adult. Please don't treat me like a child. Wang Haoren wiped the red mark on his forehead. You are my son. Zhenli smiled and helped Wang Haoren wipe his face. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't wipe it clean. Before Zhenli could say anything, Secretary Fang Xian came over with a wet tissue and helped Wang Haoren wipe off the mark on his forehead. Son, I heard from your dad that you have a girlfriend? You even went to the hotel together. You must have done it already. Does it feel good? Zhenli raised her eyebrows and teased. Wang Haoren was speechless. This couple was the same. They were both weirdos. How could a mother ask her son such a question? How should he answer? Shouldn't you be asking me more questions about my studies? Yes. How are your studies? How many marks did you get on your recent exams? Zhenli asked casually. 682 marks. Wow, that high. You are indeed my son. You are a genius. Zhenli was surprised. She was so excited that she almost jumped up and kissed her son a few more times. Beside him, Fang Xian was also very surprised. Based on how much President Zhen spoiled her son, she thought that Wang Haoren would be an idiot rich second generation who only knew how to eat, drink, and play. She didn't expect him to be a top student. Don't praise me. I didn't come here to tell you the marks and let you praise me. Understood. Zhenli nodded and told Fang Xian, I'll give you my son's account number. Take my card to the bank and transfer 5 million, no, 10 million. Fang Xian was so shocked that her eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This was the world of the rich. Even their pocket money was given in the millions. Zhenli patted Wang Haoren's shoulder and said earnestly, You don't have to save money. You can spend the money however you want. You can have as many girlfriends as you want. Don't worry about the money. Mom and Dad earn money for you to spend. Wang Haoren was touched when he heard that. This cheap mother of his was really considerate of him. Let's not talk about this for now. I have something important to talk to you about, Wang Haoren said. Fang Xian was smart. She immediately left when she heard this. There were no outsiders. Wang Haoren didn't want to beat around the bush. He directly said, Is there anyone in our family more powerful than the principal of Waterluster High School? Did the principal of Waterluster High School offend you? How dare he? I'll find someone to kill him, Zhenli said immediately. Wang Haoren was shocked by his cheap mother's words. As expected of a villain's relative, she was so violent and cruel. However, this matter was far from being as bad as that. I'll take care of this myself. Can you answer my question? Wang Haoren said. I know the director of Waterluster High School. Our relationship isn't solid, but it's not bad. Director, is it? That's easy. Wang Haoren immediately rejoiced. Water Luster High School was private. There were directors above the principal. Simply put, the principal worked for someone else. Can you arrange a meeting this afternoon? I'll try. Zhenli had the other party's contact information. After a while, the call went through. Zhenli chatted for a few minutes before hanging up. She said to Wang Haoren, "Son, there's no problem. Son, there's no problem. We've made an appointment. I'll go arrange some company matters for my secretary. I'll go with you. Your company is so busy. Forget it. Send me the address. I'll go by myself." "That's fine. If you can't talk to the other party, let me know. I'll talk to them face to face." After Zhenli finished speaking, she sent Wang Haoren an address. Jade Factory? Wang Haoren looked at the address and was a little surprised. He thought they would meet at a place like a coffee shop. Zhenli nodded and said, "She's a busy woman. She's also a busy person. You have things on hand and can't leave, so this is the only way. Let me tell you a little about this person. Her surname is Tang Bingyun. She's a woman in her 20s. The Tang family's main business is the jade jewelry business. They only entered the education industry a few years ago. This Tang Bingyun is quite capable. In just a few years, she has managed the Water Sheen Education Group to such an extent." Hearing this, Wang Haoren thought for a while and couldn't help but ask, "This Tang Bingyun must be very beautiful, right?" "Hey son, how did you know?" "She's very beautiful, but she's a little too cold," Zhenli continued. But Wang Haoren didn't care anymore. At this moment, Wang Haoren was almost certain that this Tang Bingyun was also one of the female protagonists. Because this Tang Bingyun was definitely the model of Iceberg's CEO. If she wasn't the female protagonist, then it would be strange. Arrogant schoolbelle, beautiful teacher, Iceberg CEO. He didn't know what kind of female protagonists there would be next. Wang Haoren really wanted to complain about the idiotic author. He valued Chu Bai so much that he gave her so many female protagonists. After Wang Haoren chatted with his cheap mother for a while, he set off. The Jade Factory was in the suburbs. Kuranen drove on the road. There were few people and vehicles on both sides of the road. Wang Haoren looked at the scenery outside the window. A vintage car not far ahead attracted Wang Haoren's attention. Chapter 33. This kind of old car was too old-fashioned. Was he not afraid of being laughed at by others? But then again, those who could drive such a car on the road were all people with some background. Ordinary people would not dare to provoke them. The old principal seemed to own an old car. When he drove it out, no one dared to laugh at him. Could it be the old principal's car? Wang Haoren suddenly had this idea. He immediately used his X-ray vision to check it out. What a coincidence! It's really the old principal. And Chu Bai. No wonder Chu Bai asked for leave. He was out with the old principal. Where was the old principal driving Chu Bai? Wang Haoren was curious. The old car and Cullinan were going in the same direction. Wang Haoren checked the positioning map. The place this road led to was all factories. Factories. They are going to the Jade Factory. Wang Haoren's mind suddenly became clear. Chu Bai had the ability to see through things. With Wang Haoren's experience in reading many web novels, the protagonist with X-ray vision would definitely have a story about stone gambling. Although there was no market for stone gambling in Qingling City, it did not mean that there were no raw stones in Qingling City. The Jade Factory bought raw stones directly. It was rare to buy raw stones and open them themselves. Although it was rare, it was not impossible. The beautiful CEO of Iceberg was in the Jade Factory. The protagonist with X-ray vision was about to arrive at the battlefield. As long as the protagonist used X-ray vision to open a few raw stones, the beautiful CEO of Iceberg would definitely be stunned. It was all AF * king trap. If Wang Haoren thought that Tang Bingyun had a 90% chance of being the female lead, now, the probability had risen to 100%. Tang Bingyun was the female lead. It was confirmed. Drive faster. As fast as you can. Wang Haoren immediately ordered the driver. Although they were both cars, in terms of speed, Ku Linen was much faster than an old car. X-ray vision, right? You're not the only one. If he did not take this opportunity, then he would not live up to his title as a great villain. 20 minutes later, Ku Linen arrived at the gate of the Jade Factory. According to the speed of the old car, it would take at least 40 minutes to get here. Of course, it could be even longer. This was because Wang Haoren had inserted some nails into the road. Zhen Li had already informed them. When Wang Haoren arrived, Tang Bingyun sent a female assistant to bring him into the factory. Along the way, President Tang is with a friend at the factory right now. He can't leave for the time being. I'll take you to the reception area first, the female assistant said. May I ask what President Tang is busy with at the factory? Wang Haoren asked with a smile. The female assistant's looks were average, and she rarely came into contact with handsome men. However, how could she resist such a handsome man looking at her? Even if this handsome man looked less than 20 years old. Moreover, this handsome guy came in Ku Linen's car. He was handsome, rich, and had a friendly attitude towards others. Naturally, the female assistant answered all of his questions. The factory bought a batch of raw stones. President Tang invited his friends to come over and have some fun. Sure enough, there really were raw stones. Can you take me to have a look? Of course. The female assistant nodded. Suddenly, she changed the route and led Wang Haoren to the other side. Since they had to wait anyway, it was the same waiting at the factory. Moreover, President Tang had told her to treat him well when she came to pick him up. Since he just wanted to see the raw stones, the female assistant naturally obeyed. The female assistant led the way in front, and Wang Haoren followed. The driver was behind Wang Haoren. In addition to being Wang Haoren's driver, he was also a bodyguard. Although he was not a professional, he had a strong physique and could easily deal with one or two ordinary people. A few minutes later, the three of them arrived at the factory. The so-called factory was a large shed built with aluminum alloy. This shed looked like it was built temporarily for the purpose of storing raw stones for people to see. At this time, there were about 10 people in the shed. There were men and women, old and young. Among the crowd, a young beauty in a long black dress stood out like a crane in a flock of chickens. Wang Haoren guessed with his toes that she was Tang Bingyun. Of course, the female assistant did not know what Wang Haoren was thinking. She brought Wang Haoren to Tang Bingyun. Wang Haoren got closer and looked at Tang Bingyun again. Her looks and figure were the best of the best. Overall, 98 points. Su Muyen only scored 97 points. However, this did not mean that Su Muyen was inferior to Tang Bingyun. After all, Su Muyen was in school. She did not dress up or put on makeup. If Su Muyen dressed up properly, she could also score 98 points. Two female protagonists with 98 points. Wang Haoren had to complain again. That stupid author really put in a lot of effort for the happiness of the protagonist. Wang Haoren was looking at Tang Bingyun, and Tang Bingyun was also looking at Wang Haoren. However, there was a difference. Tang Bingyun only glanced at him a few times and then immediately looked away. Her attitude was really cold. Wang Haoren really wanted to say, "No matter what, I'm still a handsome guy with off-the-charts charm, okay? Am I not worthy of a few more glances?" As expected of the CEO of Iceberg, she really did not care about handsome guys. The female assistant saw that the boss seemed a little unhappy, so she explained, "President Tang, he said that he wanted to come to the factory to take a look, so I brought him here." "Since he's here, forget it," Tang Bingyun responded, then glanced at Wang Haoren indifferently. She had a natural dislike for rich second-generation young masters. If Zhen Li came, Tang Bingyun would naturally receive her well. But if Zhen Li's son came, Tang Bingyun would not give him any face. In Tang Bingyun's view, she and Zhen Li were peers, so her son was naturally a generation younger than her. As an elder, why should she give face to the younger generation? Hello, Miss Tang. Wang Haoren greeted first. You really don't know how to be polite. Tang Bingyun snorted coldly and then reminded him. I'm sisters with your mother. Hello, Auntie Tang. Wang Haoren smiled. But in his heart, he wanted to press Tang Bingyun's arrogant head to the ground. This little girl seemed to be a little younger than Song Zhenyu, about 22 or 23 years old. She actually let an 18-year-old boy call her auntie. This was too much. What was even more outrageous was that Wang Haoren's actual age was actually 30 years old. If he really wanted to be calculative, he was older than Tang Bingyun. Wang Haoren tried to maintain his smile, but secretly, he was thinking, I'll teach you a lesson sooner or later. You like to take advantage of people and make them call you auntie, right? I'll make you call me dad then. Good boy, I'm entertaining my friend. I'm not free now, you wait. Tang Bingyun said coldly to Wang Haoren. Okay, Auntie Tang, you do your thing. I'll wait for you. But I hope Auntie Tang can finish before 5 o'clock. I have to study at night, I'm afraid I'll be late. Of course, if Auntie Tang can't finish before 5 o'clock, then it's okay. I'll come to find you another day. Wang Haoren was a little timid when he spoke. His words seemed to come from his heart, and his eyes showed innocence. No matter who saw him, they would think that he was a good boy. Cullinan's driver was shocked. If he hadn't seen Wang Haoren's style of taking girls to the hotel, he would have believed it. The acting skills of an award-winning actor were terrifying. Hearing this, Tang Bingyun's cold face showed a touch of astonishment. It seemed that the rich second generation in front of her was a little different from the one she usually saw. Ding, the host changed the impression of one of the female leads, Tang Bingyun, affecting the direction of the original plot. Received 100 villain points. Chapter 34. Tang Bingyun looked at the timid boy in front of her and suddenly felt a little apologetic. No matter what, he was just an 18-year-old high school student in front of her. Even if a student was bad, how bad could he be? How could she treat him as one of those rich second-generation sons who indulged in debauchery? Besides, she was his mother's peer, and he also called her Auntie Tang a few times. As an elder, she should not be so rude to the younger generation. I almost forgot to ask, what's your name? Tang Bingyun's cold face softened a lot, and she asked in a calm voice. My name is Wang Haoren. Wang Haoren? Good name, Haoren is righteous. Tang Bingyun praised and said, I won't take too long. I'll finish as soon as possible. I won't let you be late for the evening self-study. Thank you, Auntie Tang. Wang Haoren was very polite and looked at Tang Bingyun with innocent eyes. He exclaimed in his heart, Wow, Auntie Tang is really not simple. Her body is just, calm down, calm down. I'm here to stop her, not to look at her body. Wang Haoren calmed down and asked, even though he already knew the answer. Auntie Tang, why are there so many stones on the ground? What do the numbers on them mean? Tang Bingyun's attitude toward Wang Haoren had changed. Seeing Wang Haoren's question, she was also happy to answer his question. These are not ordinary stones. These are raw stones. Don't be fooled by their appearance, but it's very likely that there's a priceless jade hidden inside. The label on the raw stone is the price. The unit is 10,000. For example, there's a 10 on it, which means 100,000. For example, if someone buys this raw stone worth 100,000 and opens it, he may make a profit or lose. This is called stone gambling. Oh, I understand. Wang Haoren had already known about this basic knowledge long ago. What kind of jade is considered good jade? Wang Haoren asked something he didn't know. Tang Bingyun asked the female assistant to bring over a jade identification manual and explained it to him patiently. Wang Haoren's learning ability was still very strong. After listening to Tang Bingyun's explanation, he had a basic understanding of all kinds of jade. He could now tell what was good jade. This one is worth 200,000 yuan. Open it for me. Suddenly, a middle-aged man in his 40s shouted from inside the shed. He had chosen the raw stone. The stone cutter was ready to cut the stone. Everyone gathered around. After a while, the origin stone was cut open, revealing its true appearance. The quality of the jade is quite transparent and the color is okay, but there are a little more impurities. It's estimated to be 150,000 renminbi, Tang Bingyun commented and then said to the middle-aged man who was gambling on stones. I'm really sorry to make you spend so much money, Mr. Li. I'm willing to accept my loss. Besides, it's only a loss of 50,000 yuan. It's not a big deal. The middle-aged man didn't care. Then, he picked another one worth 500,000 yuan. The stone was opened. This time, he lost 100,000 yuan. The middle-aged man seemed to be a little drunk and wanted to make a comeback, so he directly picked an 800,000 yuan. Unfortunately, not only did he not make a comeback, but he also opened a useless stone. A useless rock was not worth a single cent. After calculating, the middle-aged man lost 950,000 yuan in total. He was scared. With such a bad start, the other people's interest was greatly reduced. They were not professional stone gamblers. In fact, they had never played stone gambling before. They just heard that Tang Bingyun bought a batch of raw stones back, so they wanted to see what stone gambling was like. Now they finally got to see it. In just 10 minutes, one person lost 950,000 yuan. It was too expensive. Although they were rich, they earned it through hard work. It was heartbreaking. Looking at the faces of the people around, it seemed that no one wanted to play. Tang Bingyun didn't care about this. She didn't run a stone gambling house. She didn't care whether others played or not. These raw stones were bought by her and opened by herself. Everyone was bored just looking at them. Tang Bingyun was ready to pick a few stones and open them herself. Auntie Tang, I want to play too. I want to open this 600,000 yuan stone. Wang Haoren stared at the raw stones in the shed for a while, and felt that it was time to put it into practice. You want to play too? Tang Bingyun was a little hesitant. I have money. I can transfer it to you right away, Wang Haoren said. I'm not afraid that you don't have money. I'm afraid that you won't know how to explain it to your mother if you lose. It's okay. It's my pocket money. My mother won't blame me if I use it. Wang Haoren was too lazy to waste any more time. He directly picked up the selected raw stones and handed them to the stone cutter. Mr. Tang? The stone cutter didn't start immediately. Instead, he asked. Open it, Tang Bingyun said. She saw that the raw stone Wang Haoren chose was of good quality. Even if she lost money, she wouldn't lose much. At most, she could make up for the losses herself. Tang Bingyun didn't want to see Zhenli in the future and be accused by Zhenli of stealing her son's pocket money. Those who were watching the show immediately gathered around. He has hundreds of thousands of yuan of pocket money. Whose family is this boy from? Someone asked Tang Bingyun curiously. Wang Xiang of the Wang Group and Zhen Li's son from the National Beauty and Heavenly Fragrance Company. Tang Bingyun replied. Damn, no wonder. He's the only heir of tens of billions of yuan. The onlookers were stunned. But soon, they sighed for Wang Xiang and Zhenli. The son of the Wang family seemed to be a little silly and rich. Just now, someone had lost 950,000 yuan, and he still wanted to open the raw stone. He's not even 20 years old, but he's already so good at squandering. Even if he inherited tens of billions of yuan in the future, it wouldn't take long for him to squander it all. Just as the onlookers were thinking about that, the raw stone's true appearance was soon revealed under the stone cutter's hard work. In the cut of the raw stone, a piece of transparent and pure emerald jade could be seen. Mr. Tang, this jade looks very beautiful. Is it worth 600,000 yuan? Someone asked curiously. 600,000 yuan? It's worth at least 3 million yuan. Tang Bingyun opened her eyes wide and carefully observed the cut of the raw stone. Because the raw stone hadn't revealed its true appearance, the final price couldn't be determined. But in Tang Bingyun's eyes, It was definitely not lower than 3 million yuan. As Tang Bingyun finished speaking, the crowd was in an uproar. They all looked at Wang Haoren in disbelief. Wang Haoren was actually very calm. He saw the jade inside the raw stone. But in order not to attract attention, he pretended to be surprised. I've made a fortune, haven't I? You've made a fortune, Tang Bingyun said. The cutter continued and cut away the excess surface of the raw stone. The jade inside was almost completely revealed. Tang Bingyun asked someone to weigh it and let the professional cutter in the factory identify it. In the end, she offered a price of 3.5 million yuan. Wow, I've made 2.9 million yuan. Wang Haoren was excited. This is fun, I want more. Wang Haoren quickly, randomly, chose another raw stone. This raw stone is 3 million yuan. If it turns out to be a waste, not only will you not win, but you'll also have to pay another 100,000 yuan to continue. Why don't you change to another one? Tang Bingyun stopped him. It's okay, Auntie Tang. It's either me or you opening this raw stone. If it turns out to be a waste, I'm indirectly saving you money. I'll be happy even if I lose. Wang Haoren's expression was pure and didn't feel fake at all. You're such a sweet talker. Tang Bingyun was a little touched. Chapter 35. Master, hurry up. Wang Haoren urged the stone-cutting master. Oh, okay. The stone-cutting master nodded, his hands trembling slightly. Although he was an experienced master, it was his first time opening such an expensive raw stone, so he was inevitably a little nervous. But the stone-cutting master quickly adjusted his state of mind. A few minutes later, a cut surface of the raw stone was exposed. There was no jade color on the cut surface. This was not a good sign. This raw stone might be a waste. The surrounding onlookers all looked at Wang Haoren with some sighs. Wasn't it good to earn 2.9 million? Why did he have to lose all the money he earned, and even pay 100,000? Haoren, even if it's a waste, Auntie Tang won't let you lose money. I'll help you pay 100,000. Tang Bingyun comforted him with the generosity of an elder. It's a waste? That's great. If I lose money, Auntie Tang won't lose money. Wang Haoren didn't have any heartache on his face. He was even quite happy. He was about to make a lot of money. How could he not be happy? Tang Bingyun obviously didn't know Wang Haoren's inner thoughts. When she heard Wang Haoren say that, she immediately believed it. Because Wang Haoren's smile was from the bottom of his heart. It was definitely fake. Tang Bingyun's indifferent heart was filled with warmth. Today was the first time she met this boy. This boy was really good to her. She really didn't expect that Sister Zhenli would have such a sincere, pure, and excellent son. Ding, one of the female leads. Tang Bingyun's favorability towards the host +10. Current favorability 20. Very friendly. Ding, the host has influenced the original plot. Gained 200 villain points. Haoren, I heard from Sister Zhenli that you're studying at Water Luster High School. I'm a board member of the Water Luster Education Group. If anyone bullies you in school, tell me. I'll definitely stand up for you. Tang Bingyun solemnly said to Wang Haoren. Thank you, Miss Tang. Wang Haoren smiled brightly. It's Auntie Tang. Tang Bingyun corrected him. Yes, thank you, Auntie Tang. Wang Haoren smiled and nodded. But he was really embarrassed. Tang Bingyun was only 4 to 5 years older than him. Wasn't she embarrassed to call her auntie? However, this was something that couldn't be helped. Who asked her to have a higher seniority, and he just couldn't offend her for the time being. The stone cutter adjusted his position and cut the raw stone again. A few minutes later, the atmosphere at the scene was like a boiling pot. This is glass type of imperial green. The stone cutter screamed. He had been in this business for more than 40 years. In his previous career, he had only opened glass type imperial green once. He didn't expect to see it again today. At first, the stone cutter worked steadily. Soon, the full appearance of the raw stone was revealed. Judging from the size of the jade, This one was at least twice the size of the one he had opened before. This glass-type Imperial Green should be worth more than 60 million. Tang Bingyun said. She suddenly felt a sense of regret. She bought this raw stone for 3 million. If Wang Haoren didn't open it, she would have made a fortune. However, Tang Bingyun immediately blamed herself after she had this thought. She saw with her own eyes that Wang Haoren didn't blame anyone when he knew that the raw stone might be a waste. He even felt that he was helping her bear the loss. Now that he had opened a good jade, she should be happy for him. After a short struggle, Tang Bingyun congratulated Wang Haoren. The others around were envious and jealous. This young Master Gongzi of the Wang family was born into a good family. Even his gambling luck was so good. In such a short period of time, he had earned more than 60 million. We've made a profit again, haven't we? Wang Haoren jumped up in excitement. He said, "It seems that my luck is too good. I still want to play, I still want to play." As the saying goes, if you keep gambling, you will lose. A person's luck is limited. You have won twice in a row. If you continue to open, you may lose a lot of money, Tang Bingyun persuaded. If that's the case, that's great. This is equivalent to reducing Auntie Tang's loss. After Wang Haoren finished speaking, he couldn't wait to choose the raw stones. This time, he didn't choose one by one. Instead, he chose more than 30 raw stones in one go. You've chosen too many. The total price of these raw stones is almost 30 million. You may lose a lot of money, Tang Bingyun said. If I lose money, then so be it. I'm happy to make up for Auntie Tang's loss. What a joke. Why don't I open all the stones I can and leave them for Chu Bai? Do you think I'm stupid? There's only one stone cutter in the shed. It's too slow to open the stones. Tang Bingyun asked the female assistant to call a few stone cutters from the factory over. 8 stone cutters started the machines at the same time to cut the raw stones selected by Wang Haoren. The whole shed was filled with the sound of machines. A few minutes later, surprised voices were heard again and again. Out of the 8 stone cutters, 7 of them had opened the stones. Wang Haoren made money again. His luck was simply too heaven-defying. The people around were so shocked that they didn't know what to say. In fact, this was also the reason why Wang Haoren could keep a low profile. He deliberately added a small number of raw stones that were out of stock among the dozens of raw stones he chose. Otherwise, Wang Haoren could almost maintain a 100% winning rate. The stone cutters continued to work. Dozens of minutes later, all the raw stones selected by Wang Haoren were cut open. Everyone summed up Wang Haoren's achievements. Wang Haoren chose a total of 39 raw stones, and he made a profit from 33 of them. After the discussion between Tang Bingyun and some jade appraisers in the factory, the value of the raw stones was a total of 123.6 million yuan. In just over an hour, he had earned a total of 123.6 million. The eyes of Tang Bingyun's friends turned red. Haoren, congratulations! Tang Bingyun was also happy for Wang Haoren. Although Wang Haoren made a lot of money, Tang Bingyun didn't lose money either. After the preliminary polishing of these raw stones in the factory, they would be made into various jade jewelry and then sold. When the time came, the price would increase exponentially. In other words, 123.6 million yuan worth of raw stones would become hundreds of millions in the future. In particular, there was a large piece of glass-type Imperial Green jade. This kind of processed jade was very popular among the rich. There was no problem of not being able to sell it. No matter what, Tang Bingyun made a profit. It was just a matter of how much she made. Auntie Tang, these raw stones were all purchased by you. They were carefully selected. I don't know anything about stone gambling at all. This is all thanks to you, Wang Haoren said. Hearing that, Tang Bingyun found Wang Haoren more pleasing to the eye. The raw stones here were carefully selected, but some of them had been selected by Tang Bingyun, who thought that the yield rate was very high. Tang Bingyun had already picked them out. However, compared to the raw stones in the stone gambling den, the yield rate of the remaining raw stones was still much higher. Tang Bingyun's friends probably didn't realize this problem. They even thought that Tang Bingyun wanted to make money from them and let them fill the hole. Wang Haoren's words were like a shot to Tang Bingyun's heart. How could she not be happy? Haoren, sell these raw stones to me. Auntie Tang will definitely give you a reasonable price. These raw stones were opened in her factory. Logically speaking, they should be sold to her. However, Tang Bingyun still wanted to respect Wang Haoren's opinion. I'll sell all these raw stones to Auntie Tang at a discount. You can say how much you want, Wang Haoren said indifferently. Tang Bingyun took a deep breath. She really hated that she didn't have a beautiful 18-year-old niece. Otherwise, she would definitely introduce her to Wang Haoren. There were only a few such good boys in the world, right? Chapter 36. Tang Bingyun's rich friends were jealous when they saw how much Wang Haoren had made. They wanted to gamble on stones again. Wang Haoren was not even 20 years old. It was impossible for him to gamble on stones. Moreover, when he was choosing raw stones, it was like he was casually picking watermelons. He just picked whatever he found pleasing to the eye. Luck played a part in making so much money. But most importantly, most of the raw stones in this batch should be profitable. Let me try again. The middle-aged man surnamed Li, who had lost 950,000 yuan, copied Wang Haoren's random choice and picked 5 raw stones in one go. He had lost money continuously before. This time, he chose 5 raw stones. He could not continue to lose money, right? The others also could not hold back and began to pick raw stones. After the stones were chosen, the master started the machine. Tang Bingyun's rich friends surrounded the machine. They all had smiles on their faces, waiting for their harvest. Every time a raw stone was opened, Tang Bingyun and a few appraisers would evaluate it and give a loss. 50,000 yuan. 100,000 yuan. 250,000 yuan. 800,000 yuan. The smiles on these rich people's faces gradually disappeared. In the end, they looked like they were in mourning. Few of the stones they chose were profitable. Even if they were, they only made a few tens of thousands. It was not enough to cover the losses of the other raw stones. They all lost money. The one who lost the least was 300,000 yuan, and the one who lost the most was 3 million yuan. Wang Haoren watched from the side. He was almost out of breath from trying to hold back his laughter. Among the remaining raw stones, there was basically nothing good. They could not make any money. Originally, these losses were all borne by Tang Bingyun. But they became the suckers and helped Tang Bingyun fill the hole. Young Master Wang, is there a secret to opening raw stones? Can you teach me? The middle-aged man surnamed Li, who lost the most, came to Wang Haoren and asked for advice. Did you see me carefully choose the raw stones when I picked them? There's no secret, it's all luck. The middle-aged man was speechless at Wang Haoren's answer. He could only believe that the Wang family's ancestral tomb was emitting green smoke. The Wang family had the protection of their ancestors. Not only was their business large and good, their descendants' gambling luck was also explosive. At this moment, an old car arrived outside the factory. The old headmaster and Chu Bai got out of the vintage car one after another. Little brother Chu Bai, are your stone gambling skills really that good that you can win 9 times out of 10? To be honest, I've never tried it before. But with the expert's experience, it shouldn't be a problem. In fact, Chu Bai had only read some basic information about jade on the internet, but that was enough. What he was thinking about now was how he was going to spend the money he had earned from stone gambling. It hasn't been put into practice yet. Isn't that just talk on paper? The old principal was stunned. Old principal, you'll know very soon whether it's just talk on paper or not. Chu Bai was bursting with confidence. Although he had no experience in stone gambling, he had the ability to see through things. Stone gambling was like picking up money. Then I'll open my eyes and look forward to it. The old principal smiled, his heart full of anticipation. After a while, the two of them arrived at the big shed. Chu Bai and Wang Haoren met face to face. The former's eyes flashed with astonishment, followed by a look of deep hatred. Su Mu Yen was such a kind and lovely girl. Only he would treat her well and give her happiness. Wang Haoren in front of him was a complete scumbag. He was not worthy of Su Mu Yan's love. He must find a time to have a good talk with Su Mu Yen. Otherwise, Su Mu Yen would definitely be ruined by Wang Haoren. Wang Haoren did not know what Chu Bai was thinking. If he knew, Wang Haoren would definitely ridicule Chu Bai. Would Su Mu Yen definitely be happy with you? If you like someone else, you'll be ruined. That's 2F** King unreasonable. It's true that you love Su Mu Yen, but at the same time, you also love other beautiful girls. You're just a scumbag who's fickle-minded. Of course, Wang Haoren also felt that he was a scumbag. But he was the villain. Wang Haoren shook off his thoughts and walked forward to greet the old principal. Tang Bingyun also walked over and asked curiously, "Old Ren, why are you only here now?" Although Principal Ren and Tang Bingyun had a superior-subordinate relationship, Principal Ren was quite famous in the education field. Therefore, Tang Bingyun respected him very much. "My eyes are not good, so I drove slowly. I even had a flat tire on the way, so I was delayed for a long time." Speaking of this, the old principal complained. "I don't know who's so wicked to put nails on the road. Is the car still parked by the side of the road? Do you want me to get someone to tow the car?" Tang Bingyun asked politely. "Fortunately, this young man beside me is here. He helped me change the spare tire. It's fine now." The old principal looked at Chu Bai, who was next to him. Wang Haoren looked at Chu Bai in surprise. "This guy changed the spare tire? Damn, you're really something." Upon hearing the old principal's words, Tang Bingyun could not help but look at Chu Bai. Chu Bai, who was worried about Su Mu Yan's matter just now, had already forgotten about Su Mu Yan. He only had eyes for Tang Bingyun in front of him. "This woman is too beautiful, isn't she? Her looks, her temperament, it's simply amazing." This was the first time he had seen such a stunning woman. How happy would it be if he could become this woman's boyfriend? "Old Ren, why did you bring a stranger here?" The way Chu Bai looked at her made Tang Bingyun a little unhappy. "Oh, this is my student. He heard that there's stone gambling here, so he came over to have some fun," the old principal said. "Such a young guy knows about stone gambling?" Tang Bingyun looked at Chu Bai with a sneer. "Beauty, don't think that I'm young, but when it comes to stone gambling, I'm the best in the entire Qingling city." Chu Bai raised his head and said, "How arrogant! Aren't you afraid that the wind will bite your tongue? You don't believe me? Then let's make a bet. I'll choose 10 stones. If I win 8 of them, I'll win. Otherwise, I'll lose. So what if I win? So what if you win?" This was the first time Tang Bingyun met someone who was so arrogant. She was not convinced. "If you win, I'll work in your factory for the rest of my life. If I win, you'll be my girlfriend." Chu Bai was confident that he would win. Hence, he mustered up his courage and said. When Tang Bingyun heard this, she frowned. At the side, Wang Haoren secretly complained. This Chu Bai really liked to bet with others. Last time, it was with Su Mu Yen. This time, it was with Tang Bingyun. You can trick other girls, but can't you change it to something new? Is it fun to bet every time? Chapter 37. Pretty lady, why aren't you replying? Do you dare or not? Chu Bai saw that Tang Bingyun was not replying, so he pressed on. Tang Bingyun snorted coldly. She did not want to argue with Chu Bai, but she did not expect the other party to be so enthusiastic. This guy was not even 20 years old. How could he know about stone gambling? If she won, she would not let him go. She would make him sign a contract and work in the jade factory for the rest of his life. She would see if this kid could still be so arrogant then. You're very confident. Okay then, wait. Before Tang Bingyun could finish, she was interrupted by Wang Haoren. What does it have to do with you? Why are you interrupting? Chu Bai saw that Wang Haoren was trying to make trouble and was very unhappy. You and I are classmates, right? Wang Haoren said. That's right. Why are you suddenly bringing this up? Chu Bai was a little confused. You just have to answer. Wang Haoren continued. You come from an ordinary family, and your grades are at the bottom of the class, right? Wang Haoren, what do you mean? Chu Bai felt that he was insulted and said angrily. If you don't deny it, then it proves that I'm right. Wang Haoren's words gradually became sharper. You and I are classmates, so naturally, we're of the same generation. This pretty lady is a generation older than me, so she's your senior. It's really rude of you to offend your senior. You come from an ordinary family, your grades are poor, and your words are frivolous. You actually want to marry a rich young lady. What wishful thinking. And the fairness of a bet is that the stakes are equal. The labor you can contribute in your life is limited and cheap, but Auntie Tang's lifetime of happiness is priceless. How dare you make such an unfair bet? Wang Haoren, king. Chu Bai was so angry that he almost cursed. However, he swallowed the words that were about to come out of his mouth. He hated himself for not studying hard. He was not eloquent enough and could not win against Wang Haoren. Swearing wasn't appropriate in this situation either. Chu Bai didn't want to ruin the old principal's and Iceberg's impression of him. Haoren, you're right. There's no need for me to pay attention to this guy. Tang Bingyan calmed down and was too lazy to pay attention to Chu Bai. Ding! The host stopped the protagonist, Chu Bai, from tricking one of the female protagonists, Tang Bingyan. The host has gained 200 villain points. My mouth was almost dry from all the talking. Fortunately, I didn't say it in vain. Wang Haoren smiled secretly. Then, he looked at Chu Bai and struck while the iron was hot. If you're really interested, I'll bet with you. According to what you said just now, you can choose 10 raw stones. If 8 of them are profitable, then you win. If not, I win. As for the stakes, it depends on how much you want to bet. I'll accompany you to the end. Are you serious? Chu Bai's expression turned better. Yes. Everyone here can testify. Deal. Chu Bai was overjoyed. If I win, you have to stay away from Su Muyen from now on. You can't even say a word to her. If you win, I'll also stay away from Su Muyen from now on. I won't even say a word to her. Wang Haoren was amused by Chu Bai's words. This guy was too thick-skinned. He even dared to bet like this? Su Muyen didn't pay much attention to Chu Bai these days. Instead, she was very close to him. Chu Bai won, Wang Haoren lost. Chu Bai lost, Wang Haoren didn't make any profit. F***ck, dog protagonist, can you have some shame? What are you laughing at? Are you going to bet or not? Chu Bai said angrily. I'll bet. Although Chu Bai made such a shameless bet, Chu Bai couldn't win. Wang Haoren was of course fearless. You're going to lose. Wang Haoren said casually. If I lose, then I lose. I don't care. But I'll take the liberty to ask, how much money did you bring? Is it enough to buy 10 raw stones? By the way, let me remind you, the raw stones here are all worth less than 5,000 yuan. Chu Bai was shocked. He received a 40,000 yuan reward for reporting Sang Kuan last time. He paid 30,000 yuan for medical expenses and returned 1,000 yuan to Chen Zisher. Adding on his own spending, he only had about 7,000 yuan left. Wasn't it only enough to buy 1 stone? Little brother Chu Bai, you just have to choose. I'll pay for the raw stones for you. The old principal helped Chu Bai out of his predicament. Thank you, principal. I'll pay you back right away. Chu Bai said gratefully. Then, he walked to the raw stones in the shed with a smile on his face. He used his X-ray vision and looked at the raw stones on the ground. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes. Ding. The host successfully intercepted and stopped the protagonist Chu Bai from pretending to be rich by gambling on stones. The host gained 200 villain points. Hey, how long are you going to look at them? Are you done? Wang Haoren urged. Chu Bai's confident smile had completely disappeared. It was replaced by confusion, shock, and embarrassment. Beauty, there's something wrong with the raw stones here. According to the price marked on them, there's basically no profit in these 50 raw stones. Chu Bai said to Tang Bingyun seriously. I think you're just a clown. Tang Bingyun said angrily. There's a lot of good stuff in these raw stones just now. There's even a glass-type imperial green. How could there be a problem? Someone opened a good one. There's even a glass-type imperial green. Who opened it? Chu Bai asked in surprise. It's me. I opened 39 stones just now. I think I made 33. That's about 120 million yuan. Wang Haoren said casually. You know how to gamble on stones? No, I don't. It's my first time today, but I was lucky. Wang Haoren explained briefly and then urged. Don't stall for time. If you can't do it, just admit defeat. I won't admit defeat. Then you open the stones. Chu Bai was speechless. There's no good stuff in these raw stones. How can I open them? Why don't we follow the rules of Jianghu? If you lose half of it, I'll admit defeat. If you win half of it, I won't look for Su Muyen for tutoring anymore. Chu Bai suddenly thought of something and said, Lose half of it? Wang Haoren was once again shocked by Chu Bai's shamelessness. This guy was simply a scoundrel. However, this was completely normal for Chu Bai. He didn't like to study and often dealt with young people in society. It was common for him to lose a bet and be shameless. After hearing Chu Bai's shameless words, Tang Bingyun despised him. He couldn't even accept his loss. This kind of person was simply disgusting. Principal Ren, the student you brought here is a little shameless. Tang Bingyun couldn't help but say. Haha, is that so? I think it's quite cute. Lose half of it if you surrender. Interesting rules. The old principal smiled. Tang Bingyun frowned. She felt that the old principal was a little too biased towards Chu Bai, but she didn't say anything else. Wang Haoren wasn't surprised by the old principal's words. Although Chu Bai's style was unconventional, it wasn't to the extent of being evil. As a hardcore supporter of the protagonist, the old principal naturally wouldn't think much of it. The old principal looked at Wang Haoren with a smile. You're all classmates. You'll see each other all the time. Don't make things too awkward. Losing half of it is a good suggestion. What do you think? Principal, since you've spoken, what else can I say? Wang Haoren smiled. The principal was completely on Chu Bai's side. Even if he continued to bicker with him, it wouldn't change his attitude. Since that was the case, why should Wang Haoren talk nonsense? He could only wait and see how long he could help Chu Bai. Chapter 38. Since you're not going to open the stone, then there's no point for you to stay. Please leave. Tang Bingyun directly ordered Chu Bai to leave. Wang Haoren and Chu Bai were both students of Water Luster High School. The old principal did not treat them equally and was biased towards Chu Bai. Tang Bingyun, who was very friendly towards Wang Haoren, could not stand it anymore. No matter how she looked at Chu Bai, he looked like a rascal. He did not look like a student at all. She was so annoying that the principal was a little confused. Why would he treat someone like that differently? However, despite her dissatisfaction, Tang Bingyun still respected the principal and did not show him any displeasure. Chu Bai, on the other hand, was fine. This was her territory. If she did not like him, then she would just let him go. Pretty lady, you're a guest. You don't have to be like this. Chu Bai shrugged. It seems that you still don't know who I am. I think I need to explain it to you. Listen carefully, I'm a board member of Water Luster Private High School. Hearing that, Chu Bai was dumbfounded. This iceberg beauty was older than the old principal. Send him out. Tang Bingyun did not want to waste time and directly ordered the female assistant. Her attitude showed that she detested Chu Bai very much. Wang Haoren saw that and was naturally very happy. In that case, Chu Bai should not have any interaction with Tang Bingyun, right? However, just as Chu Bai had that thought, a shout suddenly came from outside the shed. Stop! Don't run! The sudden commotion surprised everyone in the shed. However, before they could do anything else, a thin man rushed into the shed in a panic. Following closely behind were a few security guards who were chasing after him. The skinny man saw that there was no way out of the shed, and the door was blocked by the security guards. In a moment of desperation, he directly grabbed Tang Bingyun, who was closest to him. Tang Bingyun's face turned pale. Don't come over. The man reprimanded the security guards. Let go of President Tang, you can't run away. The security guards warned and approached the man step by step. Don't force me. The skinny man took out a wooden gun and pointed it at Tang Bingyun's head. The security guards were shocked and subconsciously took a few steps back. They never thought that this guy would have such a thing on him. Wang Haoren was also shocked. He wanted to use his Wing Chun to teach the thief a lesson. But now, it seemed that he should just forget about it. No matter how strong his martial arts were, he wouldn't be able to withstand that thing. However, Qingling City's management was so strict. Where did this guy get a wooden warehouse? Wang Haoren was a little puzzled, so he took a closer look and instantly found something fishy. What the hell, it's just a toy silo, trick, another F***king trick. Wang Haoren was speechless. Tang Bingyun's attitude towards Chu Bai was already very bad. This Chu Bai actually had a chance to turn the tables. If he could see the toy warehouse, Chu Bai would definitely be able to see it too. With Chu Bai's combat strength, dealing with a skinny man would be a piece of cake. Save the damsel in distress and win Tang Bingyun's favor. What a trick! If you know what's good for you, let go of this beauty. Just as Wang Haoren was having these thoughts, Chu Bai's voice came into his ears. Wang Haoren looked towards the direction of the voice and saw Chu Bai approaching the skinny man. Don't act rashly, you'll get President Tang killed. The security guards quickly advised. I know what I'm doing, don't worry. Chu Bai's voice was steady. Don't come any closer, or I'll kill you. The skinny man pointed at Chu Bai with the toy warehouse and threatened. Kill me? Go ahead and try. Chu Bai was fearless. You. The skinny man was a little flustered and was surprised. Is this guy not afraid of death? Or did he notice that I'm holding a toy? No, that's impossible. From the looks of it, it's impossible to tell that it's fake. If that's the case, this kid isn't afraid of death. Stop, if you take another step forward, I'll kill this woman. The skinny man changed his strategy and pointed at Tang Bingyun's head. Don't act rashly, if you want money, I can give it to you. Tang Bingyun had never seen such a scene before. She was so scared that she was stuttering and her face was as white as a sheet. Tell this kid not to come any closer. The skinny man was a little diffident, so he ordered Tang Bingyun. Chu Bai, stay where you are, Tang Bingyun said in a trembling voice. Don't be afraid, I'll save you. Chu Bai stepped forward slowly. In order to create the effect of a hero saving a damsel in distress, Chu Bai did not point out that the skinny man was holding a fake. He wanted to portray himself as a brave man. The skinny man grabbed Tang Bingyun and retreated step by step until his back hit the edge of the shed. There was no way for him to retreat anymore. If you know what's good for you, let go of her. Chu Bai continued to force him. Kid, are you really not afraid of death? The skinny man's face started to twitch. My life is worthless. If I die, I die. If you're interested, feel free to kill me. Hit me here. Chu Bai pointed at his heart. The skinny man wanted to curse. At the same time, his psychological defense was gradually collapsing. The thing in his hand was a toy. It could not hurt him at all. There was another guy in front of him who was not afraid of death. He could not escape. The skinny man immediately had the idea of surrendering. However, at this moment, Chu Bai, it's okay if you want to die, but please don't drag others down with you. Wang Haoren quickly stood up and said to the security guards, Why are you still standing there? Why are you still standing there like idiots? Can't you see that this kid is deliberately taking revenge and trying to kill your president, Tang? Hurry up and hold this kid down. The security guards were awakened by this and immediately surrounded Chu Bai. Although Chu Bai's combat strength was not weak, these security guards were well trained. They successfully restrained Chu Bai together. Wang Haoran, I'm almost in control of the situation. Why are you coming out to make trouble? Chu Bai gritted his teeth and said. Wang Haoran picked up a rag that was originally used to wrap the raw stone from the ground and then walked to Chu Bai's side. Are you crazy? You still want to control the situation? Can't you see what he's holding in his hand? After saying that, without waiting for Chu Bai to say anything, Wang Haoran directly rolled the rag into a ball and stuffed it into his mouth. Ugh, then, the thing in your hand is fake, ugh. Chu Bai wanted to say that the thing in the skinny man's hand was a toy, but his mouth was gagged, so he could only mumble some words. Others could not understand what he was saying at all. Chapter 39. Wang Haoran walked up to the thin man. The driver hurried over and stood in front of Wang Haoran. As Wang Xiang said, the driver was very loyal. It was obvious that he was going to block the wooden storehouse for Wang Haoran. Just tell me what you need, as long as you don't hurt the hostage, Wang Haoran said to the thin man. I need a car and 5 million in cash. I need it in 10 minutes. Go and get it ready. Don't call the police, or I'll kill this woman. The thin man saw that things had taken a turn for the better, so he demanded an exorbitant price. Wang Haoran reached out and took the car key from the driver. There's no bank nearby. It's impossible to get so much money in such a short time. I just opened a piece of glass type Imperial Green, which is worth more than 60 million. As he spoke, he motioned to the driver. The driver quickly brought the Imperial Green to him. The thin man looked at it and his eyes were full of greed. The car key and more than 60 million are all here. Wang Haoran held the key in one hand and the jade in the other. Take everything and walk in front of me. I'll walk behind with this woman. The thin man planned to let Wang Haoran escort him out. Okay, but I have a request. I want to exchange places with this woman. I'll be the hostage, Wang Haoran said calmly. Tang Bingyun, who was in a state of panic and fear, trembled. She looked at Wang Haoran in disbelief. I'll be the hostage. That's enough, Tang Bingyun said in a trembling voice. Look, you can't even speak clearly. You're so nervous that your legs are shaking. Let me take your place, Wang Haoran said. Tang Bingyun looked at the figure in front of her and was a little stunned. Tang Bingyun had always regarded Wang Haoran as a boy, but now she regarded Wang Haoran as a man. Moreover, it was the type that was extremely manly and courageous. Ding. The favorability of the female lead, Tang Bingyun, towards the host has increased by 20. Of course, the total favorability is at 40. Very close. Ding. The host has influenced the plot and gained 300 villain points. Controlling a woman is much easier than controlling a man. Do you think I'm that stupid? The skinny man stared at Wang Haoran. Wang Haoran did not answer immediately. Instead, he picked up a rag from the ground and asked the driver to tie his hand. Let me introduce myself first. I'm the young master of the Wang Haoran group. In the future, I will inherit tens of billions of assets. I won't joke around with my life. Also, this. Wang Haoran raised his tied hands. Now you should believe in my sincerity. If you still don't agree, then I'm sorry, but I think we might be stuck here forever. In the end, Wang Haoran's tone became slightly tougher. He knew that the skinny man had no other choice. The wooden warehouse in the man's hand was just a toy. It could not pose any threat at all. Wang Haoran showed his identity as a rich man's son to show that he cherished his life. He also tied his hands to convey a message that he would not resist. The skinny man hesitated and did not immediately reply. Wang Haoran was not in a hurry. He quietly waited for the skinny man. Anyway, he had plenty of time. If he did not agree, then he would just wait. Let's see who can outlast the other. Of course, Wang Howren's patience was limited. If he was angered, he would definitely rush up and use a set of Wing Chun on the skinny man. After a minute of silence, the skinny man finally nodded. Okay, I agree. He threatened, but you better not play any tricks. Otherwise, I think you might not have the chance to inherit your family's tens of billions of assets. Hearing this, Wang Howren laughed secretly. This guy was quite pretentious. He was obviously holding a toy in his hand, but he pretended to be the most cunning one. If he did not want to gain more favor in front of Tang Bingyun and needed to create a dangerous atmosphere, the skinny man would be lying on the ground at this time. Don't worry, I will definitely not mess around. Now I will slowly walk over with the thing. After you control me, let the lady beside you go. Wang Howren only tied his wrist. His palms could still move. He asked the driver to tie the glass-type Imperial Green with a rag so that it was easy to grab. Then, Wang Howren carried the glass-type Imperial Green and walked toward the skinny man. Howren, don't. Shut up. Tang Bingyun wanted Wang Howren to give up on replacing the hostage, but before she could finish, she was sternly interrupted by Wang Howren. As the president, Tang Bingyun was usually surrounded by people who were all respectful to her. No one had ever been so strict with her. Tang Bingyun had also developed the habit of bossing people around. If someone usually said this to her, Tang Bingyun would definitely be angry. But at this moment, Tang Bingyun was like a little girl who was extremely obedient. While Tang Bingyun was letting her imagination run wild, Wang Howren had already arrived in front of the skinny man. The skinny man first pointed the wooden gun at Wang Howren's head, and then let go of Tang Bingyun. Tang Bingyun was able to get away, but she did not feel the joy of surviving a disaster. Instead, she felt more worried. Everyone else, don't move. The skinny man warned the others in the shed, and then said to Wang Howren, You take the thing and walk in front. If you dare to move, I'll definitely kill you. Tang Bingyun's friends were all shivering in the corner. They did not even dare to breathe loudly. Although the old principal wasn't trembling, he stood rooted to the ground and didn't move at all. Several security guards also maintained their posture of holding Chu Bai down. At this time, Chu Bai's movements were restrained, but he had already spat out the rag in his mouth. In those TV dramas, people who could not get out with a ball of cloth stuffed in their mouths were actually complete nonsense. However, although Chu Bai could speak, he did not say anything. He did not say that the thing in the skinny man's hand was a toy. If the hostage was Tang Bingyun, Chu Bai would definitely say it out loud. But now it was Wang Howren. If he said it out loud, wouldn't he be helping Wang Howren? Chu Bai was not willing to do that. It would be best if he could let Wang Howren worry for a while. If he could scare Wang Howren into wetting his pants and embarrassing himself in public, that would be the best. Just as Chu Bai was thinking about this, there was suddenly a strange dong sound in the field. Hey! The skinny man also exclaimed in surprise. Chapter 40. Everyone looked over. It was the glass-type Emperor Jade in Wang Howren's hand that suddenly fell to the ground. The skinny man was extremely nervous. Only then did he let out a cry of alarm. This was something worth more than 60 million. If it fell to the ground and cracked, it would be a huge loss. Be careful. What if it breaks? The thin man said to Wang Howren. Hearing that, Wang Howren was secretly amused. It's my thing. Why are you so nervous? The jade was wrapped in a lot of cloth, and the distance it fell to the ground was very short. How could it break so easily? This thing is a bit heavy and my hands are tied. It's really inconvenient to carry it, Wang Howren said to the thin man. It was impossible to let go of Wang Howren. The thin man had no choice but to slowly squat down and pick up the jade on the ground. He was very careful. Although he was squatting on the ground to pick up the jade, the toy wooden capsule in his hand kept pointing at Wang Howren. His eyes were also fixed on Wang Howren. At this moment, the broken rope tied to Wang Howren's wrist was loosened. Wang Haoren rushed forward and snatched the wooden capsule in the thin man's hand. The two of them wrestled together. Seeing this, the driver and the security guard wanted to rush forward to help. However, while Wang Haoren was fighting, the wooden capsule was pointing here and there, so they didn't dare to approach for a while. Everyone was afraid that if they were hit, they would die. Wang Haoren was still fighting with the thin man. The two of them seemed to be evenly matched, and neither of them could win. Wang Haoren couldn't beat the thin man? Of course not. If Wang Haoren was serious, he could beat the thin man up with a few Wing Chun moves. The wooden capsule that was pointing here and there was completely done by Wang Haoren on purpose. The purpose was actually very simple. The wooden capsule pointed randomly for a while, then suddenly stopped and pointed directly at Tang Bingyun. Tang Bingyun was scared out of her wits. As long as the skinny man hooked his finger, she would die. Wang Haoren knew that it was time. He leaned his body to the side and blocked the opening of the wooden warehouse. Tang Bingyun's heart trembled violently. He was willing to give up his life for me. Ding. The favorability of the female lead, Tang Bingyun, towards the host has increased by 10 points. Current favorability is at 50 points. Adoration. Ding. The host has seriously changed the direction of the plot. Obtained 500 villain points, Chu Bai's protagonist aura -30, the host's villain aura +30. Just as Wang Haoren was holding the skinny man back, several security guards finally approached. They took the wooden warehouse from the skinny man's hand and restrained him. So it's fake, but it really looks like it. The security guard who seized the wooden warehouse realized that the thing in his hand was very light and exclaimed in surprise. After the situation was under control, someone immediately called the police. Tang Bingyun's friends all breathed a sigh of relief. They looked at Wang Haoren as if they were looking at a hero. Chu Bai felt extremely uncomfortable in his heart. If Wang Haoren didn't ask the security guards to tie him up, then he would be the hero. Hey, can you let me go? Chu Bai's hands and feet were still tied, so he yelled at the security guards. When the security guards heard him, they didn't untie him. Instead, they questioned him. Boy, tell us, why did you hurt our boss Tang just now? I didn't. That wooden warehouse is fake. It can't hurt people at all. That's why I'm not afraid. Chu Bai defended himself. Damn it, if you knew it was fake, why didn't you just say it? Chu Bai was speechless. Tang Bingyun walked in front of Wang Haoren and said, still in shock. Why were you so impulsive? What if something happened? It was a little dangerous just now, but fortunately, I'm lucky. Wang Haoren wiped the non-existent cold sweat on his forehead and pretended to be scared. Tang Bingyun saw that and couldn't bear to blame him. She just asked with concern, Are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? My wrists are a little sore from being tied up. Wang Haoren smiled. Let me help you massage. Tang Bingyun didn't care whether Wang Haoren was willing or not. She directly helped him massage his wrist. Her action was a little tough, but it was her usual style. After all, she was used to being in a superior position, and some subconscious actions were difficult to change. However, Tang Bingyun's face was gentle and gentle. Tang Bingyun's female assistant was stunned by the scene. She had been Tang Bingyun's assistant for 2 or 3 years, and it was the first time she saw her so close to a man. Was rubbing his wrists intimate? Maybe not for other women, but for Tang Bingyun, who didn't even shake hands with business partners of the opposite sex, it was considered intimate. This was already considered very, very close. Why did you block the wooden gun for me just now? Tang Bingyun raised her watery eyes slightly and looked into Wang Haoren's eyes. I saw that you were in danger, so I subconsciously blocked it. Wang Haoren said. Aren't you afraid of death? I didn't think so much at that time. Wang Haoren stared at Tang Bingyun with his peach blossom eyes and asked. Auntie Tang, why did you suddenly ask this? Tang Bingyun frowned. When she heard the title, Auntie Tang, before, she felt that it was quite pleasing to the ear. But now, when she heard Wang Haoren call her that, she suddenly felt uncomfortable in her heart. It's nothing. I'm actually only a few years older than you. You'd better not call me Auntie Tang. It's so awkward. Now you want me to stop calling you that? What were you doing just now? You're tempted by me and want me to change my way of calling you that. Haha, no way. Unless you hit a home run with me, I won't change my way of calling you that. My mother and you call each other sisters. According to seniority, I should call you Auntie Tang, Wang Haoran said matter-of-factly. Tang Bingyun regretted it very much now. If she had known earlier, she wouldn't have taken advantage of Wang Haoran. On the other side, the old principal helped Chu Bai untie the cloth rope. Chu Bai had regained his freedom, but he was still holding back his anger. He glanced around and kicked the skinny man who was tied up. After venting a little, he finally felt a little better. Chu Bai didn't want to stay in this place anymore. All the raw stones with goods had been opened. What was the point of staying here? At the thought of this, Chu Bai glared at Wang Haoran. If it wasn't Wang Haoran, he would be the one who got rich. That was more than 120 million yuan. But speaking of which, this Wang Haoran was too lucky, right? Could it be that he also had X-ray vision? No, that was impossible. Chu Bai immediately denied it. He was the son of destiny. How could this Wang Haoran have X-ray vision? Principal, let's go, Chu Bai said. Wait a minute. Tang Bingyun stopped him. Since you already knew that it was a fake, why didn't you say so? I wasn't sure at the time. Since you weren't sure, why did you force that criminal? Were you trying to get me killed? Tang Bingyun asked sternly. Chu Bai didn't know how to explain for a moment. He couldn't possibly tell the truth, right? I didn't say that the wooden warehouse was fake because I wanted to be the hero who saved the damsel in distress. President Tang, Chu Bai stepped forward bravely at that time. You're a magnanimous person, so why bother arguing with him? The principal stood up for Chu Bai. Principal Ren, I used to think that you were a very fair person. It seems that my perception was not completely correct. After Tang Bingyun expressed her feelings, she ignored Chu Bai. Obviously, she didn't intend to pursue Chu Bai. The principal knew that Tang Bingyun didn't argue with Chu Bai because of his face. At the same time, the principal also understood that his face was becoming more and more useless in front of Tang Bingyun in the future. Chapter 41. Water Luster High School. After the last class in the afternoon, it was time for dinner. Many students rushed to the cafeteria to eat. Su Mu Yen took advantage of this time to go to a milk tea shop outside the school. She still owed Wang Haoran a cup of milk tea. Of course, he was here to fulfill his promise. However, Su Mu Yen was a little shy to give Wang Haoran a cup of milk tea in front of him. Wang Haoran had taken the afternoon off and would only come to the school at night for self-study. Su Mu Yen wanted to take advantage of this time to buy the milk tea and put it in Wang Haoran's desk. When Wang Haoran came and saw the milk tea in his desk, he would know that it was from her. Su Mu Yen ordered 2 cups of Mandarin duck milk tea. She didn't know what flavor Wang Haoran liked, so she could only order according to her own preferences. There was also a discount for the 2 cups of Mandarin duck milk tea. While Su Mu Yen was waiting for the shop to make the milk tea, a police car stopped by the roadside. The car window opened and a head popped out. It was Father Su. Yen. Su Mian turns around to take a look, then runs over and says with a smile, Dad, why are you here? I had something to do. I saw you on the way and called out to you. The father and daughter chatted. Beauty, your 2 cups of Mandarin duck milk tea are ready. The shop owner called out to Su Mu Yen. Su Mu Yen went to get the milk tea and said to Father Su, Dad, do you want to drink it? Dad, do you want to drink? Do you want me to order one for you? I don't drink things that you young people drink. It's too sweet. Father Su shook his head and said mischievously, I think I heard the shop owner say that this is Mandarin duck milk tea. You ordered 2 cups. You can't be drinking both for yourself. Which guy did you buy the other cup for? Dad, you're so nosy. Su Mu Yen complained. You made a bet with Chu Bai a while ago. You didn't lose, did you? Are you his girlfriend now? Papa Sue suddenly remembered something. Of course not. That guy bragged that he could get into the top 10 of the class, but in the end, he got the last place. Speaking of this, Su Muyen found it funny. No way last place? Didn't you say he's improved a lot? Papa Sue asked in surprise. Dad, to tell you the truth, Chu Bai's results were obtained by cheating. The reason he made a bet with me was because he wanted to cheat and trick me into becoming his girlfriend. This person is too hateful. Su Mayan said angrily. Cheating? That's impossible. Papa Sue was in disbelief. What I said is true. Otherwise, if Wang Haoren helped me, he might have succeeded in cheating. Wang Haoren. This is my classmate. I have some impression of this name. I remember hearing you mention it before. His family is pretty rich. He's a rich second generation. Papa Sue frowned. Yeah, he's picked up and dropped off by Ku Linen every day. His family is pretty rich. You should stay away from this kind of person, you know. Why? Anyway, listen to me. Those rich second generations aren't good people. Dad, you can't blame everyone. Wang Haoren is pretty good. He's good at studying, good-looking, and he sings well. Su Muyen's lips unconsciously curled into a smile as she listed Wang Haoren's good point. Hearing this, Papa Sue's frown deepened. Yen Yen, you don't like this Wang Haoren, do you? No, of course not. How could I like him? Su Muyen immediately denied. Papa Sue, who was good at observation, saw through the clues. Yen Yen, I'd rather you liked Chu Bai than that Wang Haoren. Dad, what did Wang Haoren do to you? Why do you seem so hostile towards him? Su Muyen frowned. Don't pay attention to that Wang Haoren anymore. It's best if you don't say a word to him. Papa Sue became serious. Why? Just listen to me. Dad, you haven't even met Wang Haoren. Why are you so prejudiced against him? Rich second generations are all the same. Papa Sue's face was a little ugly. He had been in the police station for more than 20 years and had dealt with too many cases of women being bullied by rich second generations. He hated the term rich second generation to the core. Dad, you're being unreasonable. Su Muyen was a little angry. She picked up the milk tea and turned to walk back to school. Papa Sue's voice came from behind her. Yen Yen, remember my words. If you don't listen to me, I'll go look for that Wang Haoren myself. At the entrance of the hospital, Wang Haoren came out accompanied by Tang Bingyun. Wang Haoren didn't get hurt in the fight with the robbers. However, Tang Bingyun was still worried and insisted on dragging Wang Haoren to the hospital for a checkup. As soon as the two of them came out of the hospital, a middle-aged woman came up to them. She was Tang Bingyun's lawyer. This lawyer had just come out of the police station after finishing his work. She explained the situation to Tang Bingyun. Those skinny men were employees of the Jade Factory. They had a lot of gambling debts, so they had the idea of stealing. However, before they could steal, they were discovered by the security. In a panic, they broke into the stone gambling shed. Lawyerin, I'll leave the prosecution to you, Tang Bingyun said to the lawyer. This kind of case was usually handled by public prosecution lawyers. However, Tang Bingyun didn't want to let the thief go so easily. There was a traitor in the Jade Factory, and it caused such a big commotion. The Tang family's business might be affected because of this. It was impossible for a gambler to pay for it. She would let the thief atone for his crime in other ways. Don't worry, Miss Tang. Leave it to me. Lawyer nodded confidently. Then, he looked at Wang Haoren and praised him. Young man, you're really brave. She already knew the whole process of the incident and how Wang Haoren bravely caught the thief. It's okay. Wang Haoren smiled. Looking at you, you should still be studying, right? Lawyer found Wang Haoren very pleasing to the eye, so he asked a few more questions. I'm in my 3rd year of high school. What a coincidence. My daughter is also studying in this school. She's also in her 3rd year of high school. Is that so? What's your daughter's name? Wang Haoren asked curiously. Lawyer and looked to be over 40 years old, but she was still charming. She should be a great beauty when she was young. With such good genes, her daughter should be very beautiful. Of course, Wang Haoren was interested to know. My daughter's name is Su Muyan. Do you know her? Lawyer and said. I'm in the same class as her. Wang Haoren's eyes widened. Things in this world were really coincidental. He actually met Su Muyan's mother here. So you and Yen Yen are classmates. Lawyer and was also very surprised. Yes, actually I should have seen it. Auntie Yen, you're so beautiful. Only you can give birth to a daughter as beautiful as Su Muyan. She's the school belle in our school. I'm already old. Lawyer and smiled. The way he looked at Wang Haoren was much more amiable. Chapter 42. After Lawyer and left, Tang Bingyun and Wang Haoren started talking about serious matters. Why did you come looking for me? Let me show you something first, Wang Haoren said as he took out the photos that he had prepared beforehand. These photos were close-up shots of Fan Jian, Fan Tong, and Qin Shouxing after being beaten up. Who are they? Why were they beaten up so badly? Tang Bingyun was stunned when she saw the pig heads in the photos. These are my classmates. They were all beaten up like this by Chu Bai. Is that the kid with the buzz cut today? Yes, this kid has a serious tendency to be violent. Tang Bingyun agreed with this very much. The thief was tied up by the security guards and had no ability to resist. However, Chu Bai rushed over and beat him up. Ordinary people would not be able to do such a thing. He beat someone up like this. Didn't the school expel him? It's only a compensation of 30,000 yuan. He beat someone up like this and he only paid 30,000 yuan? That's too light. Tang Bingyun shook her head. Then, she quickly reacted. The old principal protected him? Wang Haoren nodded and did not beat around the bush. I came to you to ask you to use your authority as a school board member to transfer the old principal to another position. Without the protection of the old principal, Chu Bai will not be so arrogant in the future. Okay. Tang Bingyun did not waste any time and directly nodded in agreement. The old principal was old and did not take care of the affairs of Water Luster High School. Transferring him to another post wouldn't affect Water Luster High School in any way. Moreover, Wang Haoren had already spoken. How could she refuse? Moreover, she also felt that the old principal was indeed too biased towards Chu Bai. It was unfair. I'll transfer the money for the jade to you as soon as possible. Tang Bingyun asked Wang Haoren for his card number. I'm not in a hurry. Wang Haoren looked at the time. Auntie Tang. Bye-bye, let's keep in touch. Hearing this title again, Tang Bingyun's pretty face twitched, but she didn't know what to say. She could only watch Wang Haoren get on Cullinan and leave. She stood there in a daze for a while until her phone rang, waking her up with a start. It was Zhenli. Bingyun, how did the discussion between you and my son go? I've already promised him. Thank you. I'll treat you to a beauty salon when you're free. Zhenli thought that Tang Bingyun agreed to Wang Haoren's invitation because of her. Okay. Tang Bingyun immediately agreed. She said as if she was possessed by gods and demons. Unexpectedly, she said, Sister Zhenli, you're actually from the same generation as my parents. Speaking of which, I should actually call you Aunt Zhen. I'll call you Aunt Zhen from now on. Zhenli had a bad temper. When she heard this, she was immediately unhappy. Tang Bingyun, what do you mean? How did I offend you? Why are you calling me old? Don't think that I have to give in to you just because you helped my son. I'll return this favor to you. Anyway, our two families have a business cooperation. I'll give you a 10 million discount. We're even. Sister Zhenli, I was just joking. I'm sorry. Tang Bingyun quickly apologized. Then, they chatted for a while before Zhenli calmed down. After hanging up the phone, Tang Bingyun couldn't help but sigh. It seemed that it was really difficult to pull down the seniority. The chauffeur sent Wang Haoren to school. Wang Haoren had nothing to do, so he opened the panel to take a look at the attribute. Host. Wang Haoran combat strength, 289 charisma, 268 villain aura, 319 villain points, 1,700 skills, master level painting and calligraphy copying skill, master level combat Wing Chun skill, god level singing skill, Oscar level acting skill, X-ray vision. Villain points are 1,700. Wang Haoran entered the system mall and found the low-grade age-retaining pill. Low-grade age-retaining pill, 1,100 villain points. Note: age will be frozen after consumption. The effect lasts for 30 years. Do you want to exchange? Yes. Wang Haoran ordered the system. After the exchange, Wang Haoran couldn't wait to take the low-grade age-retaining pill. There was a sweet feeling when the pill entered his mouth. After Wang Haoran ate it, he didn't feel any obvious changes in his body. According to the introduction of the low-grade age-retaining pill, the effect will take a long time to be seen. Wang Haoran is now 18 years old. When he is 48 years old, he will still look like an 18-year-old boy. After the age of 48, he will start to age slowly, but the starting point of this aging starts at the age of 18. In other words, Wang Haoran has 30 years more youth than ordinary people. There are still 700 villain points left, and he can still draw a prize. Last time, he drew the same X-ray vision as Chu Bai. What will he get this time? Wang Haoran was looking forward to it. Unfortunately, the host didn't draw any rewards. Damn. Evening self-study. Wang Haoran opened the desk and found a cup of milk tea inside. It was most likely from Su Muyan. Wang Haoran took a sip. Sweet. Really sweet. It's easy to get fat if you eat too much dessert. However, Wang Haoran didn't have to worry at all. The age-retaining pill can not only preserve one's appearance, but also maintain one's figure. While drinking milk tea, Wang Haoran inadvertently glanced in the direction of Su Muyan. Wang Haoran could only see Su Muyan's side profile, but he clearly noticed that she seemed to be a little absent-minded and didn't pay much attention to her studies. During class, Wang Haoran sent a message and called Wenjing out for a talk. On the campus flower garden path, some students were walking here in twos and threes. Some were classmates and some were lovers. The lights here were dim, the environment was quiet, and the air was filled with the fragrance of flowers. It was very romantic. Those young couples who were in love liked to come here after the evening self-study session. Wenjing was called out by Wang Haoran and was very happy. Su Muyan doesn't seem happy. What's wrong with her? Wang Haoran asked. Wenjing was a little disappointed. She thought that Wang Haoran called her out for a date. It turned out that she was thinking too much. In the evening, she ran into her father when she was out buying milk tea. Her father wanted her to stay away from you. She felt that it was strange, so the two of them argued for a bit. As Su Muyan's best friend and deskmate, Su Muyan would share everything with Wenjing. I've never met her father. Her father seems to be against me. Maybe her father doesn't want her to fall in love, so he did that. That can't be. Wang Haoran directly denied this conclusion. Last time, Chu Bai made a bet with Su Muyan. If she could get into the top 10, he would let Su Muyan be his girlfriend. At that time, Father Su even agreed on behalf of Su Muyan. From this, it could be seen that Father Su was an open-minded person. He wouldn't interfere with his daughter's relationship. Favor Chu Bai and target him? Could Su Muyan's father also be a side character in the main character's camp? Wang Haoran felt that this was very likely. You're so concerned about Su Muyan. You want to pursue her, right? Wenjing couldn't help but ask. Yes. Wang Haoran nodded. Su Muyan was one of the female leads. If she didn't pursue her, the main character would. If the main character got her, the main character's halo would increase, and his villain's halo would decrease. When that time came, he wouldn't be far from death. Hearing Wang Haoran's words, Wenjing suddenly felt a little jealous. She had already seen through it, but she didn't expect Wang Haoran to admit it so easily. Chapter 43. Don't worry, even if I get Su Muyen, I still love you the most. Wang Haoren saw the change in Wenjing's expression, so he comforted her. Really? Wenjing's eyes lit up. Of course it's real. Of course it's fake. Although you're very beautiful, Su Muyen is still a notch above you. Of course I prefer Su Muyen more. But of course, he couldn't say this to Wenjing. As a villain, if you can't even say sweet words, can you still be called a villain? After tonight's self-study, help me ask Su Muyen out. Wang Haoren began to tell Wenjing a few things. His villain aura had increased from the original 99 to 319, and the extra 220 was taken from Chu Bai. Chu Bai's original protagonist aura was 357, so it was easy to calculate that Chu Bai's current protagonist aura was 137. A villain aura of 319 versus a protagonist aura of 137, this was more than twice the difference. In terms of luck, Wang Haoren was no longer suppressed by Chu Bai. Su Muyen's favorability towards Wang Haoren was 50, which had reached the level of adoration. Originally, Wang Haoren planned to slowly increase Su Muyen's favorability, and then harvest her. But looking at the current situation, Wang Haoren felt that he shouldn't delay any longer, and harvest Su Muyen as soon as possible. Su Muyen had adoration towards him, and Wang Haoren's luck was no longer suppressed by Chu Bai. The success rate of harvesting Su Muyen was quite high. As long as the harvest was successful, Chu Bai's protagonist aura would inevitably be reduced. At that time, Wang Haoren would deal the final blow and directly shatter Chu Bai's protagonist aura. After talking with Wenjing, Wang Haoren asked her to go back to the classroom. Wang Haoren didn't immediately leave, but called Wang Xiang. I want to pick up girls, help me make a romantic scene. The location is near our school's river, and the time is 9:30 to 10. After the call was connected, Wang Haoren didn't talk nonsense, and went straight to business. My son is great, you're going to change girlfriends so soon. Wang Xiang praised, and then hurriedly said. Leave it to me, I'll have someone do it. Okay Dad, I'll wait. Wang Xiang hung up the phone. He couldn't help but sigh. Although he didn't have any feelings for his father, this father was really good to him. It was as if he would grant her every request. He suddenly felt that it was actually quite good to be a rich second-generation villain. In the corridor outside the classroom, Chu Bai received a phone call. The caller ID showed that it was Su Muyen. But Chu Bai knew that it shouldn't be Su Muyen. Su Muyen never brought her phone to school. Chu Bai picked up the phone, and a man's greeting came from the other side. Chu Bai remembered this voice. Uncle Su, why did you suddenly call my number? Chu Bai was surprised. There's something I want to talk to you about. Is it convenient to talk now? The evening self-study session just ended. I can talk on the phone. What do you want to talk about? Next to Chu Bai, there were also a few students leaning against the corridor railing, looking at the scenery downstairs. But Chu Bai didn't care. You like my Yen, right? Father Su suddenly asked. Chu Bai was surprised. He didn't expect Father Su to suddenly ask this. After thinking about it, he nodded and replied, I like her. Not bad, you dare to admit your inner thoughts. Father Su praised. Uncle Su, you didn't call just to ask me this, did you? It's part of the reason. I also wanted to ask you, when Yen was in school, did she get close to someone called Wang Haoren? Yes, that Wang Haoren often harasses Su Muyen. He's a bad guy, he has a bunch of underlings, and he's tyrannical in school. He's also a playboy, he has a lot of girlfriends. Chu Bai took the opportunity to criticize Wang Haoren. I told you that Wang Haoren isn't a good person. Father Su's voice sounded very angry. Uncle Su, Su Muyen is young and ignorant, she doesn't know any better. I think you should persuade her to stay away from Wang Haoren. Chu Bai struck while the iron was hot. I bumped into Yen outside the school this evening. I tried to talk her out of it, but she wouldn't listen. She almost got into a fight with me. Father Su sighed and said, That's right. Chu Bai, can you help me with something? Please say it, Uncle Su. I won't hesitate to go through water and tread on fire. It's not that serious. I just want you to keep an eye on Yen Yen while you're in school, especially if she has any unusual contact with Wang Haoren. You must tell me immediately. No problem. Leave it to me. Chu Bai couldn't wait to agree. He didn't like Wang Haoren for a long time. This was a good opportunity to ruin the relationship between Wang Haoren and Su Muyan. This was simply too wonderful. Wang Haoren came to the classroom. One of his lackeys immediately came over to report. The content of the report was naturally about Chu Bai's phone call just now. Su Muyan's father asked Chu Bai to keep an eye on his daughter. Once he finds out that Su Muyan is in contact with him, he is to report to him immediately? Wang Haoren received this important information. He immediately transferred 10,000 yuan to the lackey who reported him. This was the advantage of the villain's rich second generation. His eyes and ears were everywhere in this classroom. Wang Haoren was very glad that he received this information in time. He had originally planned to harvest Su Muyan tonight. If he didn't know about Chu Bai's surveillance, Wang Haoren was sure that as soon as he tricked Su Muyan into going to the hotel, Su Muyan's father would arrive. Wang Haoren didn't dare to imagine that scene. Now it seems that I have to change the plan. Wang Haoren began to think. The matter of meeting Su Muyan didn't change, but tricking her into going to the hotel was out of the question. As for Chu Bai, there was no need to hide from him. If he liked to spy, then let him spy. If he liked to report, then let him report. Let's see how he would end up. Wang Haoren asked the lackey to call Fan Jian over. Boss, what's the matter? Fan Jian asked with a cheerful face. Wang Haoren didn't reply immediately. Instead, he directly transferred 50,000 yuan to Fan Jian. Fan Jian was a little confused. After the evening self-study session, immediately go to the nearby bank to withdraw this amount of cash. Then, help me do something. If you do it well, this money is yours. Wang Haoren instructed. What if I don't do it well? Fan Jian couldn't help but ask. If you don't do it well, then prepare to jump into the river outside. It's not that serious, is it? It's that serious. It's not difficult. If you don't do it well, then you might as well die. Boss, just give me the order. After the evening self-study session, withdraw the money, you go, Wang Haoren whispered to Fan Jian. Chapter 44. Ding. The host manipulated behind the scenes and transferred Principal Ren from the protagonist faction to another post. Obtained 300 villain points, Chu Bai's protagonist aura -10, the host's villain aura +10. During the evening self-study period, Wang Haoren received this message. This surprised him a little. He originally thought that Tang Bingyun would need a few days to recover before transferring the old principal to another post. He didn't expect Tang Bingyun to act so quickly. She promised him in the evening and immediately gave the order to the old principal at night. Once the old principal left, Chu Bai's protection at school would be gone. If he wanted to deal with Chu Bai at school, it would be much easier. The last evening self-study period ended. Su Muyan pushed her bicycle towards the school gate. Chu Bai followed behind. After leaving the school gate, Chu Bai prepared to go home with Su Muyan. But Chu Bai suddenly realized that Su Muyan didn't go home. Instead, she went towards the river near the school. Chu Bai thought it was strange and quickly followed. He followed Su Muyan to the river. There was a person waiting at the stone railing by the river. It was Wang Haoren. Chu Bai was angry. Su Muyan didn't go home on time and actually went on a date with Wang Haoren. How shameless! Chu Bai really wanted to rush up and disrupt their date. However, he held himself back. Rushing up and causing trouble would only make Su Muyan feel disgusted. The loss outweighed the gain. Chu Bai thought for a moment, then took out his phone and dialed Papa Su's number. Hello, Chu Bai, what's the situation? The evening self-study period is over. Su Muyan didn't go home. She's meeting Wang Haoran by the river. What? Father Su was furious. You have to keep a close eye on her. Make sure that Wang Haoran doesn't take Yin Yin somewhere else. I'll be right there. Chu Bai heard hurried footsteps from the other end of the phone. Father Su was obviously in a hurry to leave. Don't worry, I'll keep a close eye on her. Chu Bai happily hung up the phone. Chu Bai was very clear about Su Mu Yan's father's occupation. His punches and kicks had been trained. In a while, Su Mayan's father would come. It seemed that he would definitely give Wang Haoran a good beating. Wang Haoran, that rich second generation who stretched out his hand for clothes and opened his mouth for food, was too weak to stand up to the wind. How many punches could he take from Su Mayan's father? Chu Bai was very curious and he was looking forward to it. There's a good show. Chu Bai, what are you doing sneaking around here? Just as Chu Bai was staring at Wang Haoran and Su Mu Yan's every move, a voice came from behind him. Chu Bai turned around and his face immediately filled with disdain. Fan Jian, it's none of your business whether I'm here or not. If you keep talking, I'll beat you up. I don't believe you. Try hitting me. Fan Jian took a few steps forward. You! Chu Bai clenched his fists, but quickly loosened them. He really wanted to beat Fan Jian up, but he didn't dare to bear the consequences. During the evening self-study session, the old principal came looking for him. The old principal said that he would be transferred out of Water Luster Middle School and become the principal of another school. Without the old principal's protection, Chu Bai might be expelled if he got into a fight again. Trash, I told you wouldn't dare touch me. Fan Jian smiled smugly. He threw his bag over his shoulder and rode off on his bicycle. But when he threw his bag over, a bundle of things fell out of it. Fan Jian had already left on his bicycle. The bundle of things fell to the ground alone, and no one saw it. Chu Bai immediately went to pick it up. The bundle of things was all red notes, and roughly estimated to be worth at least 50,000 yuan. There's no way Fan Jian could have so much money. I think Wang Haoran must have given it to him. It's ill-gotten wealth, but it's mine now. Chu Bai stuffed the bundle of notes into his bag without hesitation. He didn't feel the slightest bit guilty. This was Fan Jian's provocation, and he refrained from hitting him. He was lucky. This money was Fan Jian's apology to him. Fan Jian didn't notice that he had dropped the money anyway. Even if he did, he wouldn't be able to figure out where it fell. It was early summer. The weather was hot and dry, and a cool breeze blew from the riverside. Su Mu Yan parked her bicycle, feeling a little nervous. In the past, she would go straight home after the evening self-study session. This was the first time she didn't go home on time to meet a guy. The evening self-study session ended at 9:30 p.m. It was already 9:40 p.m. Su Mu Yan didn't want to come at first, but somehow, she still came. Why did you call me here? Su Mu Yan asked carefully. The milk tea is not bad, but it's a little sweet. Wang Haoran smiled. You called me here just to tell me this? Su Mu Yan was stunned. Yeah, what else did you think it was? Su Mu Yan was speechless. Okay, I won't joke with you anymore. I called you here to talk some sense into you. You already know? Did Wen Jing tell you? She said it unintentionally. Hey, I almost got into a fight with my dad because of you, but I want to make it clear that I don't like you. Su Mu Yan emphasized. I know. Wang Haoran knew that she was stubborn, but he didn't say it out loud. It's good that you understand. Su Mu Yan breathed a sigh of relief. Give your mom a call. Tell her that you went for a walk with a guy by the river. Ask her to pick you up. Wang Haoran handed his phone to Su Mu Yan. I can ride my bicycle back later. There are a lot of students after class, so it's safe for you to ride a bicycle. But after a while, there will be fewer people on the road. It's not safe for you to ride a bicycle alone. Hearing this, Su Mu Yan felt a sense of warmth in her heart. He was quite considerate of her. Wang Haoran joked. Moreover, have you thought about it? There's no one around here. If I'm alone with you, Aren't you afraid that I'll do something bad to you? Tell your mom to come pick you up, so you don't have to be afraid of being alone with me. Su Mu Yen was startled. She really didn't think about this problem. Or to be more precise, she didn't have that kind of defense against Wang Haoren at all. You're quite considerate. Su Mu Yen snorted, but she couldn't help but think in her heart. If a girl became this guy's girlfriend, she would be very happy, right? He was handsome, had a good family background, was good at studying, sang well, and most importantly, was very attentive to girls. He was very considerate to girls, making them feel safe. Ding, you have stirred up the heart of one of the female leads, Su Mu Yen. Obtained 200 villain points. Su Mu Yen took Wang Haoren's phone and called her mom. After the call ended. It's quite cool by the river. Let's take a walk? Wang Haoren said. Sure. Su Mu Yen nodded. The two walked side by side, enjoying the breeze by the river and looking at the night scenery by the river. As they walked, the back of their hands and shoulders would touch from time to time. Wang Haoren could clearly feel that Su Mu Yen was very nervous. When he turned his head to look, the side of her face was a little red. Look over there. Wang Haoren suddenly pointed to the opposite side of the river. There's nothing. What are you looking at? Su Mu Yen was a little confused. Wang Haoren smiled but didn't say anything. He just looked at the time on his phone. About 10 seconds later. Bam! Bam bam! On the opposite side of the river, fireworks shot up into the sky and exploded in midair, blooming with gorgeous and dazzling colors. It was a beautiful sight. As far as the eye could see, the long river bank could be seen colorful and beautiful. Around the river bank, it was as bright as day. Su Mu Yan's beautiful face also bloomed with a happy and sweet smile.